I mean, within the first 10 minutes, we put a value on what your body would be if you were preserved.
Yeah. I was like...
And you were not happy with it.
He said $100,000. What's up, everybody? I am Johnny Christ, and this is Drinks with Johnny for a very special recap episode. I'm going to be sitting here with the team of Brandon Lombardo, Sam Hawkins whenever he gets here, and possibly Dione, as we're going to go through our favorite moments of Season 3 of Drinks with Johnny right here at the end of the year. Hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season, and let's just get right to it, Brandon. How are you doing today? Why are you wearing that sweater?
Because we just had our holiday party on Discord, and if you're not a part of our Discord, you're fucking missing out. Cheap plugs, I don't care. Go to it. Do it. It's fun. You'll love it.
It's a great community, though. In all honesty, this is going to sound like a cheap plug, but I don't give a fuck. It's just honesty. Those kids are fucking... No, they're not kids, but that community, those filthy animals...
Oh, they're awesome.
Legit.
Dude, they're
so
awesome. Much fun. They have so much fun with shit. Like, they'll see a picture of you or, like, pull a frame of you out of a video and turn you into a sticker that quick.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's pretty embarrassing, actually. I hate most of the stickers.
Yeah.
But, you got to let them do what they're going to do, and they're having fun with it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, it's great.
Today, we did a watch-along of Mr. Hanky, the first Christmas episode from South Park. We did watch-along and shared our favorite Christmas stories, and my son Frankie was on there making Christmas jokes with everybody. And, it's a good amount of community. I mean, how many people are we up to now on that thing? Like, it's a big community. I don't even know anymore.
I have no idea, dude. I lost track. It gets to the point where we couldn't moderate it anymore. We had to actually get mods because, like, it's grown.
It's too much. Yeah, it's
crazy.
Which is great, though, Oh,
yeah.
And everyone gets along so well. They're all friends and family. Like, honestly, it's not a typical Discord, I feel like. I mean, I don't know a lot of other Discords.
John, I feel like most people don't go into their own Discord. This is you I'm speaking of. Yeah. And say, hey, what's up, you filthy sluts? So, like,
it's meant in love. It's meant in love. And they love it. They admit that they're filthy sluts. I mean, they created this thread called Horny Jail. We had to make sure that when we put an 18 plus on it, like after a couple weeks of them running it, I was like, okay, we need to warn people that if they're going to go over here, it's an 18 plus conversation because there are some horny, filthy sluts over there. Like,
there are a lot of pictures of M Shadow's like crotch on that.
See, that's the part that I'm like, I can't even go in there anymore. It's like, this guy's my brother and friend. I don't want to like see him objectified this way. It's pretty amazing. But no, I mean, like, in all honesty, though, too, like, they're really uplifting for each other, too. I don't know if you see a lot of those threads, too, like the daily chat. There's always, when someone's having a bad day, everyone really gets together, really helps that person out. I know that I've gone on a couple of voice chats late at night when I'm out on my balcony with them, just have a conversation. I mean, sometimes those conversations last about 2-3 hours that I'm on with a video or a voice chat.
Oh, I believe it, John. I've been on the other side of one of those conversations at 2 or 3 a.m. from you. So, but hey, Sam's ready. I'm going to let him in the chat.
Let's bring him in. Let's bring him in.
This thing. Here we go. Maybe
he's in here.
I don't know.
In typical Drinks with Johnny fashion,
there he is.
There he is.
Turn your phone, buddy.
I can't see him yet.
Oh, I can see him.
Hey, guys.
Sam, turn your phone.
Horizontal, bro.
Rookie.
Fucking rookie.
It's not like we did an entire 3 seasons.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're doing the recap. We're already rolling, by the way, Sam.
Oh fuck.
We're already rolling. We already did the intro. We were already talking about what we just did on the Discord. Mm-hmm. Nice shirt, by the way.
Nice setup. I like the Sparta and the Queens of the Stone Age back there.
Well, like one of our last ones, I was just telling Karen, like, I just hate Zoom. Like when you get the thing in the back and it just looks silly unless you have something funny like what was his
Josh
name?
Balls with the double decking.
Yeah.
Josh Balls was great. And no, the other one, the drummer. Why am I drawing a blank?
Josh Freeze.
There you go. Yeah. Love it. Let me shut my
It's just a Josh thing then.
All right.
Oh, wow. Look at you go, dude.
Yeah. Okay. That's what we figured out. Okay. Huh.
And Kevin's are always assholes.
At least we figured out one thing.
Yeah.
Took us 3 seasons, but we figured out one thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like it, dude.
There.
So yeah, we were just talking up the Discord before you hopped on here, Sam, and now we're ready to talk about the recap of season 3, some of our favorite moments. What are you drinking there? You got a Wackerman or what?
Of course.
Hey,
Yeah, he's drinking the Wackerman.
fuck yeah.
The drink of Sam's choice.
Sam, is that bottle autographed? What is that?
Well, my 40th birthday was Monday, and our friends Mitch and Nicole gave me a bottle, but I hate cards, and they do too, because it's a waste of $3. So instead, they write on bottles. But they wrote Nicolas Cage quotes all down.
Oh, that's a
sick.
good gift for you. That's a great gift.
Good friends.
Very cool.
And half
Yeah,
of
you
them
just had your
watch
birthday.
our
You said
show,
your
so
40th birthday.
I did.
Man.
And us in the Discord made you a nice little video too.
Yeah.
Holy cow, it was great. It was a nice video, on par with all the Nicolas Cage stuff. Big shout out to them, and watch that new trailer if you haven't watched it, everybody.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched it yet. You sent it to me in a text, and in true fashion, I looked at it and went, "I'll watch it later."
Yeah.
I never did.
So, like, how does it feel being 40 and you look younger than both of us?
Whoa. Speak for
I
yourself, bro.
I'm pretty sure my balls are longer than both of yours, but funny story. My dad, maybe I told you guys this, but I'll say it again. My dad, when we were kids, was like kind of a prankster, and he always like, whenever bring my friends over in high school, he's that cool dad that's like, hey, here's $20, go to Taco Bell on me, guys, and we would head out. And one time he did that, and me and my two other best friends, Larry and Nate, we got in the car, and they parked facing my front door. My dad ran out, and he goes, wait, guys, wait. And I said, yeah. He goes, boom, and he turns around, pulls down his pants, and his balls, I swear, went down to his knees and were red as a devil. And I'm like, my friends turn to me and they're like, what is wrong with your dad's balls? So,
And one of them was like, "Holy jeez, I want to lick him."
yeah. Loose skin and old balls, dude. So, I'm inheriting that, I guess. So I don't know. And by the way, my kids found Big Daddy, and they quote "loose skin and old balls" all the time. I love
Nice. Well, I was quoting the other Adam Sandler, the CD.
Which one? Which one?
Holy jeez, I wanted to lick him.
Oh yeah.
Big beautiful balls were hanging out. And holy jeez, I wanted to lick them.
That one CD was great. You remember that?
So great. Of course. It's like I used to be a staple when me and Matt would go to the same tattoo artist, Adam Barton. We would drive up to San Jose and we'd listen to both of the Adam Sandler CDs every time. And then we'd throw in like some Sonata Arctica and Dream Theater and stuff. It was always like the same stuff we listened to on the way up and back. But it was, I don't know why I just shared that story. Let's get to the recap, guys.
Season 3, man. What a fucking season. We had some great guests.
What a fucking... Dude, it was a trippy
How many
season.
have to pull them up?
Yeah, I have to do a cheat sheet too. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I gotta look and see.
You guys suck.
I can't even pull it up because I'm recording this fucking screen.
Well, let's start up at the beginning then. Like, for me, that was one of the best ways we could have ever started off a season. It was one of my all-time heroes in Fat Mike, and becoming friends with them and everything over the last few years. I mean, we've known each other in passing and stuff from Warped Tour back in the day, but having him on the show and even coming back, I don't know if you guys remember it. The first one got cut off a little bit because he was in his van and getting kicked out of his Airbnb in Joshua Tree. And so he's like, oh, I got to go. And then I was like, I just texted him. I was like, can you come back on for like another 15 minutes? And he came back on for like another half hour. And we spliced that all together. That was pretty cool.
No, we didn't splice it. That's separate. It's actually bonus content. Yeah.
Is it?
Bonus content for YouTube subscribers. That's why you should subscribe.
This is now the second time Brandon has shamelessly plugged something on and we're only about 10 minutes into the episode.
I got to make sure we get paid, man.
What's that feel like?
No shit, man. Brandon's the only one who knows what that feels like.
Oh, look at you drinking your champagne from France. That's where all the money goes.
Right.
That's our budget right there.
Whatever, bro.
Hey, man, I'm kind of bummed I don't have a charcuterie board for this time around.
I should have sent some. Wow. I dropped the ball, guys. I'm sorry.
It's not like I can just drive to your house and...
Yeah, seriously. I'm sure
Bring
my
your
wife...
fridge.
Yeah, my wife will rip up a charcuterie board for you right away.
Dude, that's one of my favorite. Like, getting older, like, charcuterie boards are one of my staples, like, must-haves.
Dude, we often do that for dinner. Like,
yeah, same.
If I go to your house, Johnny, and you don't have one, I'm like, what's going on? Do we have an emergency here? Because you guys, Lacey and you guys like put on the best turkey. They always have these like sweet walnuts that are kind of spicy. I just like.
Dude.
Yes. I always eat.
I just went.
All right, great.
I just got back from Texas. We went to a restaurant where it was a build your own charcuterie board, and it was fucking amazing, dude.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yes.
Do they just like
Texas,
charge
they
you
have
by
like
the pound,
brisket and stuff? They have like brisket, like little chunks of brisket you can put on it and stuff?
No, they didn't have brisket, but they had, it was like pick your meats, pick your cheeses, and then they like garnish it with a bunch of sides. And they had these nuts, like you said, they were like sweet and spicy, but then they had like a rosemary.
Why does he have to do this with his hand when he's saying nuts?
It's just force of habit.
That's amazing. Oh, God. That shouldn't be a force of habit. That should not be a force of habit.
Usually when I'm talking about nuts, I'm not talking about the nuts that go in my mouth. Or am I?
Well.
Wow, dude. How much of that bourbon have you had?
We're getting there.
Oh, you're about you're a solid third into it. You're a solid third into it. That's awesome. Oh, he's going to be fucking lit up.
I'm already toasty. We got off the Discord and I got up to walk around and I was like, oh, wow. Okay. It's going to be one of those kind of Saturdays.
This is going to be great.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do a second one of these because there's no way that everything's going to go smoothly.
There's no way it's recording right now.
There's no fucking way. Should I hit record on my end just to be safe?
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, another one moving on is King Vader, which I feel like is a sleeper one that not everyone like really caught on to. And it was kind of at the beginning. I think it got overshadowed by the Fat Mike one. But dude, that kid, for anyone who doesn't know King Vader, like he is a hustler. And I feel like us learned a lot about YouTube from that. And then just like the way he does stuff in the model. And the biggest takeaway from that is not doing it for the numbers and not just doing things like, hey, that little one that you think might not hit, it's going to catch up. And sure enough, I feel like that's happening more and more. And that guy's pretty inspiring, if you ask me.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
I just remember being really shocked on that conversation of how poised and mature he was. I mean, the guy's only 20 years old. At least at the time he was 20. He might be 21 now. And he's just a professional about everything. I mean, he's humbled at the same time. I mean, at the time he was had 80 million followers across all social media.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking insane. That's a lot of people that follow what he does on a regular basis. And his aspirations to do so much more. He's like, I got that. And he's like, that's like nothing compared to what I want to do. And it's like, wow. Like, and I'm sure he's going to achieve it. I mean, he's just got a great head on his shoulders, real smart guy, and really creative too. I mean, his whole dance thing.
Yeah.
Is like, I don't get it because I'm old as shit, but like, it works. Like he has in like every video, everyone doing it, and I'm like, I did it too for the promo.
Like, which is the best. I love that you played with it.
Yeah, dude, that's one of my favorite little video pieces I have on my phone. It like makes me smile when I scroll through and see that. But I'm gonna throw that.
Old man Christ.
Yeah,
no rhythm,
but we made it work.
Yeah,
but
no. I've got rhythm actually. Though, I got rhythm, fuckers.
You are a dancing fool, man. Yeah. I've seen you. Any excuse to cut a rug, you're out there, man.
Oh fuck yeah!
Well, yeah, dude. You gave us a little sneak peek there on the Sticks episode when you were out on the golf course, man. You let us a little insight of you being a dance master.
That's right. That's another episode that like we were talking about. You left the Discord to take a dump or something for a little while, but we were talking about that episode, and I was saying we filmed for like 4.5 hours, and you somehow managed to bring that down to an hour episode. And I was like, there's got to be so much footage that we can release bonus content for. There's got to be extra stuff.
There's a lot of shit, but it's like you like shanking golf balls into trees and shit.
That was the worst day of golf I've played in like since I've started.
Oh yeah,
sure. So bad.
Yeah, That dude,
boys.
Putting that episode together was the most.
It was fun though. I mean, it came out great. You did a great job.
Thanks, man.
Yes.
God, dude, the fucking time that went into that one, I was just sitting here cussing you out every time. I'm just like, this motherfucker, he just wants to go on a golf course with a camera and no plan and just fucking shoot. Oh, I hated you. I hated you.
Well, I also love how you're like, oh yeah,
there was a plan. We just didn't follow it.
Yeah. And you always ask for more time for editing and all that, but I mean, come on. You're going to wait till the last minute, whether you have 3 months or
It's true.
a weekend.
That
It's
was
true.
also you should have been cursing yourself on that one too, because you had that one for like 5 months before you fucking did it.
It's
you could have
true.
been chipping away at it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but that's on top of like dropping a new episode every week, and on top of
Yeah.
like other shit. So it took a minute, but
I
I'm
know.
actually
you're a worker. You're a worker.
I love
know.
that episode so much, man.
It was fun. It
That
was
whole week,
Well,
though,
you-
like we filmed a bunch of episodes. We were so hungover, I think that day, because that was
Oh,
like day 3 of shooting.
extremely hungover. I was extremely hungover. We had already had Medusa on the show, where she kicked my ass in checkers, and we got hammered, or I got hammered during that, and then
We
well,
got
not
hammered.
too bad,
We got
actually.
hammered the day before that. I flew
Yeah.
in.
Well, then we had the launch of the beer. We
Yeah.
had the Filthy IPA.
Oh, that was
that
all that
launch
week?
week. It was
Yeah.
all that week.
And then you
We
did
did a
West
whole
Portland.
bunch of stuff. We did West Borland. We did
Mickey D.
Mickey D from Motorhead,
Yep.
and now he's out on the road with Scorpions right now.
Hell
Good
yeah.
for him.
That's awesome.
That
Let's
the
talk about that
we-
one.
Yeah,
Mickey
let's talk
D?
about. Yeah,
So that one, the manager, whoever reps him, reps Joanna Angel, and they're like, "Hey, you guys
Another
are
great
doing a podcast. They have the Motorhead, the booze coming out. Vicky, maybe if you
whiskey.
guys down." And we're like, "Icon for sure, let's do it." And we had some back and forth, but he's overseas. He was late in traffic. We were doing something else where it was like a certain timing thing. You were about to call it, and I said,
it was the Styx episode.
Yeah.
Styx was on his way down already
right.
to
That's right.
to go to the golf course, and Mickey was late, and I was like, "Oh, dude, like we don't have time for this episode and to still go to the golf course. Like I don't know what I'm going to do here." And we had it all set up and ready. Everything was smooth. I had hit record on everything. Everything was perfect. And then we called it. I shut everything down. I'm like, I got to start getting ready for the next episode. And then Mickey came on, or his management finally said, "Oh, he's there. He's ready to go."
Oh,
So
I got a
fired
call.
everything.
Yeah,
you got a call.
we
That's
called
what
I
it
got a
was.
call. I
Yeah.
was taking a dump, and then I got a call, and I jumped off, and I answered it, and it's this Holland voice, or "Hello, this is Mickey
Swedish.
D." And
He's
I'm like,
Swedish.
or what is he?
He's Swedish.
Swedish, yeah. But
Can you give me his
I was like,
impression?
get back on.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
so stereotypical, man. I love it.
I'm a racist against Dutch and Swedish.
They're not even Dutch. That's amazing. Yeah. You've just insulted all of Scandinavia. No, but it was funny because then I'm like, okay, let's just do it real quick. We've got about an hour. That's probably all the time we're gonna get out of him anyway. So let's just go. I fire everything back up, start the conversation. It's going great. Everything's he's sharing some really fun stories from back in the day and what he's up to these days and stuff. I mean, he's lived a legendary life. Let's be honest. I mean, Scorpions, King Ek, was it King Diamond?
King Diamond.
King Diamond he was in. I mean, now it's Scorpions, legendary drummer, and has some really great fun stories. Lemmy, of course, I'm a huge fan of. And yeah, so he gets on, everything's going right. And then I look over, like, while he's telling one of his stories, so Brandon's over here to my left. And I go, "Brandon, did we hit record?" I couldn't remember if I had hit record, like the screenshot to get his video from the Zoom call. You actually have to hit a record button on it. We didn't. So instead, we just had a still of his frame because we had my video. So Brandon just put a still of him in one of the screens, and it's just me talking. But it worked out really well, actually. That surprisingly, because of the debacle that happened, I was like, no one's going to watch this episode. We should just release just the audio. Lo and behold, we released. It's one of the better episodes from the season. One of the bigger episodes.
Yeah.
So
And it almost didn't even come out.
It almost didn't. It almost didn't. It almost came out different. We had to come up with different ways to make it work video wise, and we're like, all right, how do we not disrespect him but do it? Because we were gonna like jib jab his mouth at one point.
Yeah, but then it was like then we thought better of it.
Yeah.
We thought we're just throwing around funny ideas. It wasn't really trying to be disrespectful. We're like,
No.
how do we do this?
Yeah.
And we also think we're regular comedians over here at Drinks with Johnny. So we think we're fucking funny, and we're like, oh, it'd be hilarious if we did this, and then we go, that might come off real wrong. Not really. You might be a little offended about that, but the whiskey's
Let's be honest.
good.
He's
Whiskey's
not even going to
strong.
know that we reposted.
No, totally. Totally. He's not going to know that we talked about it or anything, but I was really thankful, and I hope to cross paths with him someday, I'm sure, on the European festival runs. I mean, we've played with a lot of those bands that he's in. I mean, in Japan, we actually played with Motorhead at a festival in Japan.
That's cool.
Years and years ago. I remember watching them from behind the stage. It was pretty awesome. Anyway, so that was a great debacle of an episode that actually came out pretty fucking well. So kudos to you guys for helping me out with that.
Yeah. And then tied before that, we mentioned Joanna Angel.
Mm-hmm.
Who,
oh, yeah, that was fun. That
you
was
were
a
like,
fun chat.
I think I've met her in the back. And lo and behold, did you guys
Figured it out. We figured it out. Yeah, we were in Jersey somewhere and did a photo shoot with the Burning Angel models. This is back when we were sex, drugs, and rock and roll Avenged Sevenfold, you know, and not that we're not anymore, but we're just a little older. Yeah, there's just it was funny. I kid, but no, it was funny because I remember that we were all sick as shit. We had a flu going around at the time, and they wanted to party, and we were all felt like shit, so we didn't party. So they went around thinking Avenged Sevenfold was a bunch of posers. They don't hang out, they don't do anything. They're a bunch of straight-laced squares. And then we talked about it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, now I figured out that we hashed that out basically." And now I'm texting with her all the time. She sent a bunch of liquid death water. No, she didn't send one of those, Brandon.
So, I got a funny story to follow up on this. So
yeah,
on the Drinks with Johnny social media accounts, we always follow the guests after they're on the show,
right?
And
on Twitter, where you can post anything as long as it's not a lie. Exactly.
And so we follow Joanna. So sometimes I'm scrolling through our Twitter feed and I'm like, okay, just catching up on what our guests are up to. What can we repost? And it's usually oh, cool. Here's Zicky Dice doing a show, or okay, cool. Jose, he's got this going on. And then you see 5 dicks penetrating something, and you're like, what is this now? And you're like, oh, Joanna Angel.
I had to just get on my feed. Right. She's great though, man. She's fun. She was funny. She was a great guest, and that episode did another one that did really well on YouTube, but was funny because everything that we talked about is totally not part of the YouTube community, so they don't allow us to make money on that episode at all. They're like, we can't run ads on that.
Yeah,
that Mike one went. Yeah,
that got age restricted. Drugs. That's an 18+ episode. Yeah,
but they still run ads on it. Joanna, however, you can't run any ads on it according to YouTube. So, if anyone hasn't checked that one out, you just go listen to the podcast.
They just see her name and they're like, "No, we're not even going to look at this."
Yeah, probably. But I don't get it because there's a lot of porn stars that are now doing podcasts and stuff, and so you guys have seen it as well. And they have their YouTube channels. They get these crazy views as they talk with their other contemporaries in the business. And I'm looking at them like, are they able to get ad revenue on that? Or
I hope so.
I hope for their sake. I mean, they're getting hundreds of thousands of views on every episode because there's a bunch of creeps out there that want. But no, people are just interested in them, I'm sure. But it's funny because they get these views. Yeah. It's either you can listen to my whiny piece of shit voice, or you can listen to some hot chick talk about getting railed. I get it,
I don't know, dude. I like the guy with the mustache who interrupts people. That's my kind of entertainment.
Dude, I still get those comments. Dude, I saw a few the other day that come through, and they're like, oh, God, I hate when podcasters just keep interrupting. I'm like, I'm not interrupting. I'm following the story, dick nose.
You guys should go to season 1.
Yeah, I used to interrupt like a motherfucker before.
Oh, fuck, man. Oh, okay. Bye, Sam.
Sam's out. He doesn't want to talk about pornography anymore.
No, I just
he's getting ready.
To adjust his boner.
He's like, where's that picture of Nice at?
Gotta go, guys.
Was that season 2? Nice was season 2.
Nice was season 2.
No, we're on to season 3. Season 3.
Sorry.
Who were some other really great guests? I had a lot of fun chatting with another huge hero of mine, and Lars Fredrickson, who was on the show.
Yeah.
That was
dude,
great.
He has a cool wrestling collection.
Dude, his masks were fucking legit. His Lucha Libre masks.
That, and then just the random fucking records he had of Terry Funk has an album. What? But, like the crazy, just like off the wall things you didn't expect.
Yeah. And he was so much fun to talk to as well. Cause I think we barely talked about music. Like I think that whole episode we talked about wrestling and just life and our like what we believe as human beings in the lives that we've led and where that's taken us on our journeys. That's most of the conversation. I mean, of course we talked a little bit about music and being on Warped Tour together and all that stuff, but it really was mostly wrestling and life, which was, I enjoyed because I mean, that's what we started to do the show for, because you could go to any interview with these guys and get the music and get everything that they're talking about. You come here for something that is a little bit more behind the scenes, a little bit more real, a little bit. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say real because those other parts of their lives are very real, of course. But I know how it is on the other side of that, where you're constantly just talking about the music, How many different ways can I tell you that I'm excited about my new album? That kind of shit. And then it's like, no, let's just have a conversation like we would if we ran into each other at a party, we're getting to hang out and getting to know one another like you would any other person in the world. And that's what I really love. And that was always the idea behind the show. But I will say it hasn't really come to fruition. And I'll say until about halfway through this season, I really started to feel like a rhythm of where guests and myself are really people I've never met before are really connecting. And I think I mean, I know the turning point. I think I've said it a few times. But we should talk about it again here since we are doing the recap. As many of you guys know, Trevor Moore passed away shortly after being on this show, and I was really beginning to get this bonding friendship from our chat. I never met the guy before. I was a fan of Whitest Kids You Know and Miss March. So I was already a fan. It was the first time I took away the whiteboard that Sam usually does a bunch of notes on and I kind of look at. But we just completely did away with it. And I just had a real one-on-one conversation with the guest for the first time without any notes. And what came of that was getting this stride and stuff. And then, of course, 2 weeks later, finding out that he's passed, I was just like, it was really, really hard on me too, because he's had a kid the same age. He had a lot of life views that were very similar to mine. And it really put me in a weird spot for a couple of months. I'm not going to lie, like mentally, I did a backpacking trip that really helped me clear those thoughts. But for a while I was reeling from it, not because it was someone I was super close to, but just, it was the budding of a friendship. I know that. And it was just weird timing and the significance that it meant to me for this show. There were so many things I was trying to wrap my head around. That was such a coincidental thing about his passing so shortly after being on our show. And he was such a good dude. Like I could just tell we were going to be fast friends. You could just tell, like we were getting ready to have beers together. Like we had set a couple of dates. We were going to meet halfway because he's up in Los Feliz. I'm here in Huntington Beach. We were going to meet halfway in Long Beach, have some beers and just chat, and unfortunately that didn't happen. And still condolences go out to his family. And I mean, tragic accident there, but really great episode. I mean, I go back and listen to it. I haven't had the guts to go back and listen to it yet, honestly. But what I remember from it was a very real, very fun conversation. It went from being funny to very deep and everything in between. And I was a big turning point, even without his passing. It was a huge turning point in my life and as a podcaster right here for the show.
If you do go back, because I've actually listened a couple times, that's probably my favorite episode, just because just listening to you connect with him, like it was 100% genuine. I assume on both parts because I know what happened, the conversations afterwards. But it's very surreal to listen to, just the foreshadowing, just knowing what comes just weeks later or a month later, just talking about, his thoughts on death and near-death experiences and just what happens afterwards. It's and also just reading all the things, him being with his wife for years and talking about how he loved his wife more than anything, and just relation-wise, like we have with our relationships in our sons and families, and it's just he was so relatable because in the Hollywood Monster, he seemed like he was kept true to himself and genuine to his friends, and I just feel like it mirrored, how we run our lives. So I don't know. That was
shout out to his friends too, real quick, because you did mention his friends there. They reached out to us. They did. They obviously have great sense of humor too, and they had his 40th birthday that he missed after his passing, and they put together like this montage of stuff, and then reached out to us, invited us. Unfortunately, I was at a wedding of one of my best friends in Mammoth that day, so I couldn't make it. But I'm sure that was a great event. I mean, I kind of laughed to myself when I saw like the invitation was for Trevor Moore's 40th birthday, the one that he missed because of COVID. This is like 2 months after he has passed. I was like, that's a strange sense of humor, man. But I mean, they did it. And then like even you sent us, Sam, like they were on their Twitch feed after the Whitest Kids You Know. And they made the rumor of him dying, trying to, getting to suck his own dick.
Yeah.
And this was like days after he passed. I was like, wow, that shows you like what kind of friendships that guy created, that they would feel comfortable with that, and instead of mourning, you could make jokes and tell and share fun stories of the man that he was. And I have a lot of respect for them too on that.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a great episode. It's funny, like just kind of transitioning a little bit, unless you guys have some more, is he falls in the comedian realm. And kind of more to your point too, talking about how the bands don't always talk about their latest album. They do, but the conversations are more, genuine than that. I was listening to some of the comedian episodes to maybe put some stuff together for a best of, but none of them are really laugh out loud. Not some of them are, like the Brad and Adam one from last season, but I was listening to the Doug Benson one, and while it's not like a rollover laughing episode, it's interesting because it kind of looks more behind the scenes of who they are. And I thought that was actually a good episode too. I got to learn a little bit more about him. I thought that was pretty funny. And then the Zane as well, that was pretty interesting, hearing how Zane actually shaped what you got going, right now with Drink John.
Yeah, I mean, watching the Three Sheets episodes years ago, I was just like, this is brilliant. Like, this guy's traveling the world, drinking with everybody, having conversations. What I loved about that show too is that when he was doing it, he was talking to just average guys on the street and he would just start drinking with them for the night, and then that was the episode. I was like, this is brilliant. Like,
that's
I don't know why it ever canceled. Yeah, like, I do that on a regular basis. That's why me and Zane got along really well too because of that. I feel like. And then we went out and saw his stand up at a brewery here in Irvine shortly after that, and that was funny because there was like a homeless looking heckler, and he was just like all over the place. Like, and I remember going up to Zane after, he was like, "Do you see that guy? He kind of threw us all off, him and his opening act." And I was like, "Oh, you guys still did great, But it was like this guy like stood up in the middle of the brewery and was just like a sloppy mess, like heckling and shit. He had to get thrown out.
Oh my God.
And I was like, "Welcome to Irvine, Zane." But Zane's a really good guy. Did you guys see he had a post the other day? I forgot to reach out to him of like someone trying to steal his car when he like had it idle. He was like unloading groceries or something. And he came out and he was like all flustered. He like made a video real quick. And he's like, dude, this guy's taking off right now, but he just about tried to steal my car. I had to fucking shoo him off. So I was like, why does this stuff happen to Zane?
Right. That'd be crazy.
That's crazy shit.
Fuck that, man. Mm-mm.
LA. There's LA, right?
Oh, you crazy Californians.
Oh. Yeah, you don't have any crime over in Newcastle, do you?
Actually, a couple days ago, police knocked on the door because there were two armed car robbers that were just like in the area. So they had my street on lockdown. I live right around the corner from the ghetto.
Mm.
Yeah.
Were they the Wet Bandits?
What's that?
For the Wet Bandits were in town?
Yeah, the Wet Bandits. Yep. Fuck, man.
Oh yeah, and then didn't one of your friends get shot outside of a club like a couple months ago?
He did. He's doing a lot better now. Yeah, he was in the hospital for a long time. No, I wasn't. It was down in Pittsburgh. He got shot over pizza. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep, dude. That was a tough one.
But you said he's doing better now?
He's doing better now.
I haven't asked about him in a while.
Yeah, his parents live 4 houses down from me. We grew up together, so I've known him since the day he was born, and he's there now. He's rehabbing. He's trying to get back and do well, but he's doing a lot better.
We're glad to hear that, but that came from a joking moment because I was making fun of the fact that you called us crazy Californians.
Well, no, it's equally as crazy here in Pennsylvania. Believe me.
I mean, Sean is there, so
Pennsylvania. I love it. Speaking of Tucky, there's a good fucking transition for
I like that.
Let's talk about Kentucky and Darby Allin and the whole crew, JPEG Mafia, coming over to the house for that was like our first in person since the pandemic. Was this season 3 with Darby, and in true Darby fashion, he rolls in with his whole fucking posse, like he did the first time we ever met, and it was just debaucherous the whole time. I mean, the conversation was really good, actually. I felt, because at that point I'd had a rapport with Darby. Darby's a good friend now, good friend of the show, good friend. He's just good people, and so we had a good rapport on the podcast side. But I mean, I wish we would have just let the camera on the whole time for the behind the scenes stuff. That was kind of my bad. We should have had like a camera just running for everything that was happening around the conversation, because these like. JPEG shows up with this girl that's a self-proclaimed porn star, I guess. They're in my bathroom for way too long doing God knows what.
Oh, no. There's more than that to this.
Oh, yeah. And then they were down on my trampoline, getting down on the trampoline, doing a bunch of shit. Like, I don't know, man. It was fucking wild. But then he wanted to share one of my drinks after it. And I was like, did you eat her out? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, no, go get yourself a drink. We're in a pandemic. That's why I won't do it.
Dude, I feel like such a dad. Me and Kentucky were outside trying to keep, all the loud people quiet while you and Darby are talking. And he's like on the trampoline. Me and Kentucky are talking, having a drink. And him and this girl just go into town, JPEG Mafia. And then they start, and we're just talking like nothing. And she's saying some odd stuff. And then they start sneaking inside. And I go, hey, where are you going? They're like, oh, we forgot something. And I said, if you're going in the bathroom or in there to fuck, you need to go in your car and stop bucking. I feel like such a dad. Like, get out of here, you knucklehead kids, and go in the car and fuck like teenagers. You know what I mean?
Like normal teenagers.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
That was my dad moment. I think
it was also. I had a dad moment too, but not in the same way. Before we started filming, it was a really cool behind the scenes for me. Darby was the TNT champion at the time, and he brought the belt along with him. And my son is a huge Darby Allin fan since season 2 when we had him on. And I started showing him AEW Dynamite. He's like, the first match that Frankie saw on a pay-per-view, Darby lost, and Frankie started crying. He was bawling. He's like, no. And I was like, son, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't want to burst your bubble that it's fake. or that it's not real. Sorry, we don't use the F word. Like that it's predetermined. But it was really funny. And then to that point, Frankie came up in his pajamas before he's going to bed. He's in his little onesie looking all cute, and he's talking to Darby. And then Darby gives him the belt. He gets to hold the belt over his shoulder, takes a couple pictures with Darby. And I was just like thinking in my head, Frankie was, he's 4. And I'm like, when I was 4 years old watching WWF Superstars, if the Intercontinental Champion, basically the same thing, showed up to my house to hang out with my dad, and I just got to hang out with him in the belt, I would be flipping a fucking wig.
Dude, that's epic. That's so fucking epic, man.
It's amazing. It's really such a testament to Darby, how he stays so humble, but like he's not just humble. He's still hungry, and he's got so much going for him already. I mean, he's rising to the top of the roster every week. I mean, he's doing crazy shit. He's got that reality show he's working on. I don't know. He keeps telling me he wants me to come on and do something, and I'm like, dude, I'm not doing anything super crazy. I'm just letting you know right now. Like, no, why not? Just like bungee off a bridge. I'm like, I'm not bungee diving off a fucking bridge. It's like, that's not going to happen.
Come on, man. You didn't just turn 40. That was Sam. You got some springs. Come on.
I've never done that. I'm terrified of heights. You will not. You couldn't pay me to do it.
I am too.
You pay me to do it.
That's how you break your fear, though. I went skydiving to try to break my fear of heights.
No, thank you.
I don't know. I guess. I still don't.
Are you still afraid of heights?
I don't like them, but I'm not scared.
No, it didn't work. Well, get over your fear of pepper spray, unless it's just pepper spray in the face, John.
Me? No, dude, I do the pepper spray.
You got some bad karma coming. You've pepper sprayed multiple kids in your backyard.
Yeah.
That's a weird comment. That should be like 2 truths and a lie. I've pepper sprayed 2 people in the face.
Yeah.
Voluntarily.
Never have I ever pepper sprayed 2 different people in the face. Like right in the face too.
Oh yeah. You got better on the second one.
Oh yeah. The second one was real bad. Dude, Did you
Oh,
see
it's both his brothers. You've gotten both of his brothers.
both
Yeah,
of Darby's
awesome.
brothers? And the second I texted them, or I FaceTimed the guys in the morning because again they just took off in their car and drove off. Sober, of course. Darby stays sober and everyone stays sober who's going to drive. But like the next morning, I'm FaceTiming him, going like, "How's everybody feeling?" And Darby just takes the phone over to his brother, and his eyes were this fucking big and red. And I felt so bad. He just looks so fucked up still. And I was like, oh my God. He was like, it looked like he was having an allergic reaction or something to it. I was like, you guys might want to take this guy to the hospital. Like, he's fucked.
What I love about those videos too is, like Jackass guys, sometimes they got to sell it and they kind of like it's like wrestling, they sell it. Dude, Zach was not selling it. That was like legit 100%. Like, fuck you guys. This is not cool.
Yeah, I think JPEG might have been overselling the chop, although I know that chop hurt like a bitch.
Oh,
he was overselling a little bit, but it was so good.
Oh my God. That was my favorite. That was my favorite clip out of anything that happened this entire season.
Yeah, dude. You got pulled on the Botchamania for that. That's awesome, dude. Like,
I didn't even know what that was until then. And then I looked at all of it and I was like, yes, dude, Botchamania is awesome.
fuck yeah, dude. It's epic.
I don't know what that is. I'll have to look up what that is.
Oh, dude. It's like wrestling botches, but they make montages and they're episodes on YouTube. Yeah.
Do you know what wrestling botches are, Sam?
Mess ups, I would assume.
Yeah.
That's what a botch is.
Yeah. They're mistakes. Yes.
Yeah. Botch is a universal term, Johnny.
Oh, is that the new name of our show? Botch? Is that what we're
Botched. I watched Botch. I watched that show on
that was
the surgery show, right?
Surgery one.
one.
Yeah, me and the wife watch it because it's so insane. Like at first she's watching. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't watch a lot of reality TV. And then first, what got me in a couple of times is like it's like some hot chick like trying to get like her boobs done or something, and I'm like, I'll watch this for a second. And then I start like watching, and like they show like all these terrible things that have happened. I'm like, why would you do this to yourself? Like, it's just not worth it. Just be ugly. It's cool, man. Like, fucking let it go.
Dude, I was at the grocery store on Sunday. It was the weirdest thing, and I saw or earlier this week, and this lady. I've always seen those on TV or like with like cartoon size, like where it's like Guinness Book of World Records, boobs and butt. And there's someone in Huntington that was shopping, and I was like, and it's one of those things where I don't want to look because I'm not, trying to do that. But like at the same time, it's just like, I don't know if I'll ever see this again. This is so different. Like So
did you take a picture with her?
No, but I almost took a picture to show my wife and be like, can you believe that's like real? I thought this was all like fake.
That's why you were going to take the picture, Sam? Come on.
God, you guys are the worst.
We've seen the
You're creating this character of me. Not accurate. Projection of yourself.
Are we creating it, or are you just saying these things?
There's a reason you're drinking Wackermans over there. All right.
Oh, he's got carpal tunnel these days.
Fuck, man.
That was one of my friends, actually. My friend Jenny. We were out downtown drinking one time, and this very attractive girl walks by, and of course I look. I'm not. Hey, I look when they go by. Just, what the fuck was that, right? And she catches me later. She laughs. She goes, "That's what my dad used to call carpal tunnel." It took me a second to get it.
Wow.
Like, oh, so he would think about Chekhov.
Of course, you would say that.
Fuck, man.
I was like, that guy's a legend to come up with that one. I love that.
Hey, back at the wrestling, we had two good ones on our little Discord. One of the favorites was Malachi Black. Yeah.
Malachi
that was
Black.
pretty. He did us a solid on that one. That was
good timing on that episode.
Oh, he knew it too. When you go back and watch it, he's like, "There's something special coming here, guys." And I was texting him like after that. We were texting back and forth, and he was like, because he had again another great guest that had a great time on the show, and he was, it spawned a really nice friendship with that. And we're talking back and forth, and I was like, "Hey, dude, we have this little clip out from you kind of becoming Malachi Black. Can we release it yet?" And he's like, "Just trust me, you can release it after Wednesday night." And this was on Dynamite was coming up, and I was like, "Okay, I'll trust you, man. Yeah, whatever you want." I was just asking you. Let me know when I'm going to release these. All big things are coming, bro. Just release it after Wednesday night. And I said, "Cool." Watching Wednesday Night Dynamite, and he makes his debut on AEW, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be huge." And it ended up being a smash episode for us. Yeah, like he comes over. We had the clip outs of him talking exclusively about it. I don't think he had talked about it before on any other show at that point. So it was really cool to get that behind the scenes from him. And again, that he was able to quickly trust us, to be honest. He had enough trust in us from one conversation to allow us to have that content and not release it, you know? And, and you know, we're like, well, we're professional about this. A, B, we're not gotcha journalism here. We're just doing this for fun. Like, this is just a fun passion project. You know, I wouldn't do it if I wasn't having fun. We've already chronicled that I'm not making any money. In fact, I'm losing money doing this. So it's obviously
you've been on the wrong side of that too many times, which I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many future guests are actually listening. I know the listeners listens, but just for everyone's knowledge, we've said it before, but we send all of our stuff to the guests, which is super uncommon for podcasts or anything because, you know, typically they record it and what's said is said and people cut it out like crazy. Hey, we could probably be a lot bigger if we would like manipulate stuff, but that's just not us. We're here to make people want to come back and we're here to have a good time. And it's just like, as silly as it sounds, that bar behind Johnny is in his house. It's supposed to be an open house for people to come in, feel comfortable, and have a good time. That's the idea, right? So
yeah,
we just kind of create that.
I mean, that's very true. The first time I ever met John was maybe second time, but at that bar, and I felt very comfortable. And then this whole thing spawned from it.
That's true. That's exactly. I think the first time we met, though, was actually when we were cutting that Christmas thing.
Yeah, at the warehouse.
At the warehouse, we're Avenged.
Yeah,
we were putting together those mystery boxes.
And it was Christmas. Holy shit! Yeah,
and we did like this whole little promo video.
Yep, that was fun, man.
So also, speaking of another guest, we had the privilege of having Brett Barish on from Savion. I can never say that. I'll let you say that. One of you. Sovereign. Yeah.
It's a real hard word there.
And right behind that little lit up tree behind Johnny over there, after drinking an entire bottle, I don't think you're supposed to consume it that way on an empty stomach. I proceeded to just have a great
sink. You can't see the sink, but there's a sink. This is a wet bar, everybody. It's a full on fucking wet bar. There's a sink back over here.
Just so everyone's aware, if Johnny's around when you're throwing up, don't expect him to help you, but he will sit in that chair right next to it at the bar and just watch TV and talk to you as if you were actually having a conversation with him. But it's literally him talking to himself about all the great ideas we should do with Drinks with Johnny while you're just...
I still want to do that idea. I still want to do that idea. I know exactly what you're talking about and I still want to do it.
Fuck, man.
You're puking quite a bit, dude. It wasn't just a little bit. Well, you had an entire bottle of cream liqueur.
Ooh.
And I had not eaten one thing the entire day.
Who just drinks cream liqueur on ice?
Bad move.
Guys who drink Wackermans.
That's so nasty. Your taste in drinks is just... That was one of the first times.
The drink was good, just to clarify for them.
Oh, yeah.
The drink was good.
I've used their stuff to make cocktails. I just don't drink an entire bottle of it. You know, like...
Yeah.
The three Amigos, was it Three Stooges shot that I made for one of our Thirsty Thursday posts? Had the Bumbu, Screwball, and Fireball mixed together. And it sounds like a lot of heat and everything, but it just tastes delicious. It's like a cinnamon, banana, peanut butter combo. It's like, and it's perfect.
That Screwball's good.
The Screwball's good. So I'm drinking a peanut butter whiskey right now. They make this.
Which one's that?
It's they make it local here. I'm gonna have to get you some. It's called Derailed Distillery. It's in an old train car. It's fucking awesome.
Oh, is that that's the distillery you were showing us pictures of when you went and toured it, right?
Yeah. It's sick, dude. It's really cool. And I got some pickle moonshine from it too.
What's the speakeasy you went to the other day?
It was in Texas.
Was it actually like through a door and everything? Yeah,
it was upstairs. It was at like a concert venue, but the upstairs was a speakeasy. And they had some fucking, dude, their bar layout was so sick, dude. Like legit, like every kind of dried fruit or like fresh herb you can imagine for these cocktails. They had a smoker. They were doing everything, dude. Like little perfume bottles to spritz on, like lemon juice. It was fucking phenomenal. Yeah.
We went to one for our friend Nicole's birthday in Huntington at, HQ. And that was kind of fun too. I had no idea. The funny story about that is there's a secret bar and you go through it, but it has a mirror or a glass to the outside of the parking lot. And
it's
while they're
PCH.
To PCH, which is like the main drag of Huntington, and they're talking to the manager, like this is during the day, and he's like, yeah, you got this great view, and you can look at all these people. Like, look at this drunk girl right here. You can just watch her. She has no idea she's there. And then as they're talking, he goes, yeah, she's probably gonna throw up. And the manager was joking, but then she projectile vomits all over everything, and the manager flipped the fuck out and bolted out, and they thought it was absolutely hilarious.
It is hilarious. And by the way, describe that window a little bit better. It's a basically like a two-way mirror. You can't see in from the street. You can only see out from inside.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
That was actually a good time.
Well, let's get back to some recapping because we just went off on a tangent.
Oh, yeah.
We usually do when we're on these calls.
Westmoreland.
Great.
Oh, that was a great one.
Probably
our biggest views.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We got picked up by People Magazine, ET, and USA Today all mentioned us in their online stories and stuff like that, which we appreciate them. Cool. That was kind of a first for us, non-music based. And I cheers to Brandon for having helping us prep for that one and hooking that one up. That was awesome.
I know too much about Limp Bizkit, which isn't a bad thing.
There's never too much of Limp Bizkit.
No. But you got him in trouble on that episode.
I did.
Apparently,
I didn't. Apparently, we didn't know it at the time. I was just like, I was asking him questions like we always do. I even sent, to Sam's point earlier in this episode, I sent him the audio like I always do before we release, and he said everything was good to go. So we released it, and then I guess Fred got mad at him about talking about the new album because it was. I mean, now we know that the album's come out, but this was 6 months before the album release.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, News did what they did. He didn't really say anything bad.
Right.
Like, let's be honest. He's like, oh, we're done. But they're just going to take what they can, and you read into it how you want to. But
well, yeah, I'm sure Fred didn't actually listen to the episode. He probably saw one of the clip outs on People or ET or USA.
Yep.
And I'm sure they said something about like the fact that Fred hadn't finished his vocal parts yet, and that's the only part that they talked about.
Yep.
Which wasn't the whole conversation at all. It was. What we talked about is the fact that they were working on it. Yeah.
Fred wants to come on. Come on, Fred. We've reached out.
Man, we'd love to. I'd love to talk to him. Fred, actually, we played a show with Limp Bizkit years ago. I want to say it's in some theater. And I remember he was being really cool. Like he wore an Avenged shirt on stage while they were playing. I don't think Wes wasn't in the band at the time. It was one of the times when Wes wasn't in the band. So I didn't get it, or maybe he was, and I just didn't get a chance to meet him. Met Fred very briefly at that show. I'm trying to remember. It was like in Camden or some shit like that. Somewhere on the East Coast. Remember that. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, Fred could come on anytime, man. I think it'd be a great conversation.
I do too, honestly, dude. He has a lot of interests outside of music that I think you guys would like relate on.
The guy directed John Travolta.
Yeah.
Like, how insane is that?
Yeah.
Or Jesse Eisenberg back in the day. Like, I mean, he's done some Ice Cube. I mean, he's done some stuff.
That's cool. Well, let's make it happen, Captain.
Yeah. Let's see who else we got. Jose
Mangan.
Yeah.
That was a
Metal
fun
ambassador.
Man.
That was
what
a
nice
one.
dude. That guy is genuine as hell. Like you hear him on the radio. That is him. He is genuinely that positive and that upbeat and nice the entire time.
Yes. I mean, we hung out after the episode for another couple hours, just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
And he shared with us a couple of stories that, I mean, I kind of wish we were recording, but they were fun. It was just everything to Sam's point on the radio, on the episode that we had, that was just him being him, and it was like, and he's such an interesting dude. He's so much more than just a radio DJ and metalhead. Like he's really smart. I mean, he was a chemist. Like
you're fucking crazy. Really, that's crazy.
I mean, it's insane. Like, and the fact that he wanted to be a chemist, not to make drugs. It was like that weird story about it. I was like, that just goes to show what a positively awesome dude he is. Like and his love for Vinny and Dime, and having that limo now. And I mean, if you guys seen that it's redone and everything, he just had our boy Sammy Hagar in there for a drive along interview too, for that cocktail drink we went and tried in Vegas, Brandon. It was really cool. I mean,
what's the name of that cocktail drink?
Sammy Hagar's Beach Bar Cocktail Company. Did I get it all?
I think so.
All right, cool. Got a long name.
It does.
Take a drink for every word of that.
No, Sammy was nice. I liked meeting him. I'm sure I know Jose and him had a good time.
How cool was it though that Jose brought his tequila collection to you?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean,
Dude, like
that
he
was
said,
only a part of it.
You're the only person that he's ever done that for.
Yeah. I mean, I felt honored, and he brought some really good stuff. Funny story. When he brought out that Cristalino for the first time, I'd never had any of those. And now I'm seeing them everywhere. He was right. They're like super popular. I got a Hernado bottle of Cristalino right back here. And then someone brought me 2 of those bottles, like at the Halloween party. Someone just walked in with them. I was like, I just heard about these. These are amazing. And it's a trip. And he, I'm not like the biggest aficionado of spirits, but I'm kind of up there. It's not very often that someone shows me something that I haven't had before. That was a time when there was a few bottles there that I was just like, okay, this is pretty legit. He's showing me some shit I didn't know about.
I really thought that was going to go real downhill. Like when you just bring out a bunch of booze, I was like, ooh, I'm worried. But that, dude, it ended up being fantastic, dude. Like, you
guys spaced it out well enough.
Yeah, that's what I think it was. But to be fair, another fantastic technical difficulties. There was a whole 20, I would assume at least 20 minutes that was not recorded.
So our roadcaster, we've had a lot of issues with here and there, and I think we finally got it figured out. But for a while there, like it didn't like the SD cards we were putting in or something. It's like Sam said, it was like 20 minutes, and it was great. It was a great 20 minutes right off the bat.
We released it.
Did we? Oh yeah, because it was still recording on the phone, right?
It's on the paywall. It's behind the paywall, yeah. So we have it, but it's just not with good audio. It's the camera audio.
That's right.
Yeah. But
good thing Sam was there, because I would have done the whole episode without knowing that it wasn't recording the audio.
Well, I got a look from you like, what did you do? And I was like, no, I swear, dude.
Making me look like a hack in front of my friend here. Yeah, and then he shared a really fun behind the scenes story of the first time he had a great interview with System
we
of a
can't talk
Down.
about that. Yeah.
Oh no, we're not gonna throw him under the bus or anything like that. But it was just like, he made me feel better about that. He's like, dude, because he's a professional with doing this for many, many years, a lot longer than I have. And he's like, yeah, dude, how many mistakes I've made over the years? Like, fuck, that was nothing.
Yeah.
Well, he's just such a positive dude. Again, that's just a true testament of like, don't worry, guys, it's all good. Like, and just like making you feel better. Like, oh, you made a mistake, but you're still a champ. Like, I just felt like, I mean, like, it's so positive.
And it was that and the tequila. I don't know. By the end of it, I felt like a god. What's some of like the odd ones? Yeah.
Who do we got? Who's the weird one?
Balls.
Balls.
Balls is a weirdo.
Yeah,
I love it.
He's a weirdo.
I love that though. Like, I knew you guys would have a good convo.
It's so funny because we were throwing that one. Brandon was actually throwing that one around because we were trying to figure out what we're going to do for Halloween, and he's like, "Dude, Balls will come on. He's got his odd,
strange and unusual oddity shop.
Strange and oddity shop, yeah." And he's all, we could show some of that stuff and talk about that. And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds good." But I'm trying to get I've been on the Space Zebra with him, and we've done a lot of stuff, and I'm sure I'm going to have him on eventually. But I was just like, I wasn't sure if it was the right vibe for the Halloween episode. And sure enough, it turned out it would have been a great Halloween episode as well, because he is such a fucking weird dude, but like in such a fun way.
I mean, within the first 10 minutes, we put a value on what your body would be if you were preserved.
Yeah. I was like,
and you were not happy with it.
He said $100,000. 100. Cars are more expensive than $100,000. Like,
I thought afterwards,
human ass wouldn't be
any human would be 100, because just a human body in general, I bet you could go for 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
You'd get a little more. You get more than that.
I mean, you get
I have a little celebrity status. I have a little celebrity status. All right, boys. Like, come on. Maybe
imagine what people would do to your naked body.
I was just thinking, like, dude, like, oh man.
I was serious though. I've thought about that before Josh came on the show. I didn't know what the name was for, and I've forgotten it already. What it is to be embalmed. It's not
taxidermy. No, it's something else. It's
something else. I forget what it is.
Fuck, it's gonna bother me. I know it's on the tip of my tongue.
Is it okay? The question that wasn't asked though, is it legal?
We never asked him where he got his skulls at, right? Did you ever ask him
where?
Yeah, but
there's skulls. There's no like. There's besides the body exhibit, I can't think of anybody who actually has a body.
He has a human face in a jar.
Yeah, no, he does. There was a
okay.
reason why he came up with a monetary value. I don't think it's illegal. I don't see what's wrong with it. I mean,
Never tell you
know what I
guys.
always thought would be cool.
Never mind.
Is if you cut your skin where
No,
your
no, no,
tattoos are and post them on a wall. Like if like maybe that's weird.
You can make jackets. I always wanted to do jackets out of skin with people with tattoos. This is going to get dark.
Yeah,
real
this is
quick.
okay.
Let's not do
This is not balls talk.
Yeah.
well, we can talk about his backgrounds.
that. Yeah.
He had the chicken nuggets. He had the school. He had the double dicks.
Yeah, the drinks with Johnny.
The drinks with
Yeah,
Johnny.
the drinks with Johnny skull. Yeah, that was good. I don't know how he had those all queued up and ready to go, but it was pretty fun.
That was,
He was a great conversation though. Like
He's a
honestly, I
hustler,
didn't
too.
know.
He is a
Yeah,
hustler.
absolutely. He is. Man.
He's got some
done
great
a lot.
root beer. I have it in the other room. His root beer is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Check it out, man. It's like I've never had a butterscotch root beer before. Fuck, dude, it's bomb.
Is it like cream soda or what's it like?
It's kinda, but it's dude. I don't know. It's weird. It's like a very smooth root beer.
Well, let's transition to old friends, Andy Black.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was a fun episode. That was fun to reconnect with them.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, like we said, and I think it was like 11 years ago we did that tour together. It was one tour, and I mean, at the time they were just kids. I mean, he's not that much younger than me, but like the band was just starting to get their recognition. They were like right at the beginning. We were the headliners. They were underneath, and we just had a lot of respect for them because they kind of took what we did earlier on in our career with the makeup and the Motley Crue kind of style vibes, and they took it to another level too. They and I was like, this is badass. They're going for it. Like I really had a lot of respect for all those dudes. And then I mean, we had Pitts on as well.
Well, I was glad to have his wife too. I always love when you have like not the typical stuff. How he let his wife come in is kind of fun, just to kind of break up, like you said, break up the normal interview and just make it a little more personable. That was kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah,
That was because of the fans too. The fans made that one happen.
Yeah,
Pitts,
cheers to
they
them.
definitely did, yeah.
Making our job easier.
Yeah.
They're already Sam. If you look at it, they've already gotten quite a few. They've already
I
done a good
made
job
notes.
pretty
I
easy
made
for
notes.
season 4.
Mhm.
We got a few rad guests that they've got on camera saying they're coming on the show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty rad.
Very cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
literally,
Andy-
I can't really say it.
Should we plug season 4 here? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
Why not? We had like 20 different directions for it, but I think we have like one now. We know where we're going with it. Do we?
I don't know.
I don't either. We'll figure it
Why
out
not?
in February.
We'll figure it out by February. That's all.
One that like I was a like kind of a cool like side one that we pulled together that curveball was Jim Florentine. I really enjoyed that chat.
Yeah.
Like that kind of was out of nowhere, and what a cool dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Growing up with Entertainment, television back in the day, and seeing him on Howard Stern
Mhm.
Yeah.
and Crank Anchors.
Crank Anchors, dude. Yes.
The guy's an icon, dude. It's awesome.
Dude, I watched that metal show growing up for so long. Like that was just cool I don't know, man. It was cool.
Damn. He's a really good. He had a really good chat with him, and even that one we stopped the recording, or like I stopped, but me and him kept talking. I let it record still, so
Mhm.
we have a bunch of bonus footage from that. When I was just like, okay, the episode's done, and then I was like, all right, I've taken up enough of your time, man. Thanks again. Let's do a quick promo like we usually do, and then we just kept talking for like another half hour, 40 minutes, and I was like, all right, if you got nothing better to do, I got nothing better to do. Let's fucking hang. I was a few beers deep, and we just had a fucking good time. It was great. Like, and I haven't texted him in a while, but shortly after that, we were texting each other back and forth. And I know he's on his comedy run again right now, which he's a funny.
Oh, we should go check him out if he comes around here.
Yeah, we should absolutely.
He actually was supposed to play. I want to say Rec Room right before the pandemic. So hopefully
Maybe
we'll
I'll
get him.
reschedule that. That'd be a great one.
Yeah.
I love the Rec Room.
That's a cool spot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers to the Rec Room. Do that transition to I don't know. I was in a transition somehow. I totally forgot.
This is why you're the producer and
Come on.
not the
My
host.
Wackermans are kicking in, guys.
You don't have a good segue. You can't set up a segue and then bail on it.
Yeah.
No, there was one. I just I don't know.
I gotta try to pull up our guest list. Let me see who we had.
Yeah, let's see. Dude, one personal one that meant a ton to me was your chat with Joey Cape and Marco.
Yeah.
Dude, that Bad Astronaut was when I lived in San Francisco. Bad Astronaut had just come out, and I was interning at Fat, and I got to meet Joey Cape and stuff like that at the Fat. It was just like so weird. I was like 19-year-old, and so that record really meant a lot to me. And I'm glad that you were a big Lagwagon fan, but I don't think you were. That kind of came out at the time you were starting to tour and do all that stuff, so you probably just kind of missed it. But now at our older age, it's just kind of a little more like Lagwagon light and some great songwriting, in my opinion, on that. So,
I was really happy to go back when you said he was coming on and they were doing the anniversary of Bad Astronaut stuff, and that was like the main topic that they wanted to cover. Or a lot of times these people, or the managerial guys behind the guests that we have, kind of send up like, make sure you mention this, that, and the other, and like we do, of course. And Bad Astronaut was obviously one of the things, but for me, I was really excited, as you said, to have Joey Cape of Lagwagon on the show, and Marco, of course, too. I wasn't as familiar with Marco until you said they're coming on for the Bad Astronaut stuff. So I started listening to the catalog, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, this is really good." Like, I can't believe I missed this. It's amazing songwriting. It's still got Joey's voice on it, which is one of my favorite voices of all time.
So unique. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things, man, is when you bring a guest on that I've never heard of, and I get to go back and check out their catalog of music, and I'm just like, holy shit, like, this is amazing. Bad Astronaut was definitely one of those guests where it was like, okay, I'm going to add their whole discography to my Apple Music and see what's up here, because it's some good stuff.
Yeah. Bad Astronaut, Lagwagon, Joey solo stuff.
Yep.
Marco, I mean,
Sugar Cult, even Sugar Cult's some good shit, man.
Sugar Cult, they had that big old hit. Yeah.
It was great stuff, and they were rad guests. They were. It's not a requirement that our guests drink, obviously, as you know. It's just like if they do, it brings another element to the show. I feel like where it does make them. It doesn't make them, but they loosen up a little bit more, and it becomes more of a hang like we're doing right now. And that was really the idea behind calling it Drinks with Johnny. Now, of course, I mean, right off the bat, we had Jake the Snake Roberts, who doesn't drink. We've had several guests that are great guests. Yeah, half of our guests that don't drink booze, and it's totally fine. Those are some of my favorite episodes too.
I like the guests.
It's a different one.
I like the guests that smoke.
Yeah,
in particular,
like
the Godfather. Doug Benson, Godfather that was phenomenal, dude. Like at first I was like, Godfather, all right, that might be cool, but dude, the conversation was fucking awesome. Just realizing
the stories were amazing.
Yeah, how long he's been around and like the stories that he has. Yeah, fucking great, man.
I got to transition when we're done with this. Don't let us change guests till I do my transition. Let's keep going. Sorry.
Did you just set up a segue like that?
Well, because you did that awesome segue. I was like, fuck, I just remembered my last segment.
That is so Bush League. Oh. Anyways,
right?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Sorry,
what I was going to say, but I said it on the last podcast that when I was putting it together too. I saw afterward that like some big wrestling magazine picked up another article with Godfather talking about how he can't ride with The Rock anymore in cars and
on
stuff.
B-Reels. He talked about on B-Reels podcast.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, that motherfucker shared that story on my podcast first before it got picked up with all this syndication and shit.
Yeah.
But no, I'm obviously teasing. Having Godfather on was as a child who grew up watching him as Papa Shango all the way to Kama, and then of course the favorite Ho Train. Now the Smoke Train with the Godfather. So good. Just such great characters. Such an inspirational wrestler and just guy. Like he's just a happy dude now. Like it's just so great to see. He's just living his best life this many years later, and it's really cool. And I actually, funny story on that one. I got in trouble because that was Mother's Day, or it was we were celebrating Mother's Day that day, and after getting high with him and then taking a couple of shots of Jack Daniels, I then was like, I was on cloud nine. I talked to one of my childhood heroes. I was feeling like a kid inside, having the good time. I was so happy. We go to the staycation that we're going to do for Mother's Day with the family and take Lacey and my mother-in-law out to a nice dinner. And I then continued to drink, obviously, at dinner, and then like got way too wasted. Ended up like wrestling with Frankie until he cried.
Was there any other wrestling other than that, by the way?
No, I mean, anyone that roughhouses knows you roughhouse until someone gets hurt. That's just like how it happens.
True.
Yeah,
How much,
you're like,
Sam?
oh, someone cried. We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, you remember when you dropped Frankie on his head?
Me?
Yeah. I was there for
No.
that one. I forget what episode we were filming, but you had like Frankie by his ankle and he dropped him on his head. And I was like, oh.
Well, I don't think I just did this.
Oh.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
You're
did
vicious.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could release this part of the podcast. It sounds like we're fucking child abusers.
Yeah, right. Our kids love us, though. We just break each other's kids. Yeah.
I fucked up your son quite a few times. I digress.
Transition into that, he talked about The Rock, and speaking of The Rock, that was a horrible transition, by the way.
Yes. Makes it even worse that you keep calling it a transition.
Yeah. That's what I do,
it's
man.
always a good transition when you address it.
Yeah.
So,
It's like when you have to explain a joke after you've told it.
that was
why it's funny.
That's been one of my favorite things. I don't think you do it anymore, but John would be like, "Oh, I have a great segue." It's like, no, just say it. Just say the segue.
No, I do still say it because I like to pat myself on the back while I'm thinking. I'm like, that is pretty good.
Oh, that story with the Godfather about The Rock was great. By the way, that reminds me of Tech Nine had that song with The Rock as well.
Tech Nine, our first guest from the hip hop world.
Mm-hmm.
That was a proper guest. I mean, as we were talking about JPEG Mafia before, he was on the show for part of like some shenanigans, but like having a real one-to-one, which we should get JPEG on, by the way, next season.
Yes.
But the Tech Nine stuff was so cool because going back as a fan of Tech Nine from years ago, I mean, when you think about how long he's been in the industry and what he's accomplished, who he's collabed with, everything in between is just like, and he's such a good dude. He was a lot of fun to hang out with and talk with, and he was very complimentary. He's always been complimentary about my band, which makes me like him even more, of course. And but it was really fun to have that conversation with him. We got into some real stuff, but then he also he opened my eyes to what his style of hip hop was, because I love his style. It's very akin to, Busta Rhymes, one of my all time favorites, and he explained to me where that comes from. This is a Jamaican cheers, and I was like, I had no idea what he was talking about.
I didn't either. That was so enlightening to me.
Yeah, and he's like, it's just that style. Then you see him talking about it and stuff, and then of course him talking having the song with The Rock, and he's like, no, I knew he could do it from doing You're Welcome on Moana. I knew he could handle it. I was like, yes, dude.
I like to imagine that's who it is. It's Maui doing that
Maui?
rap.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is.
So I'm sure someone cut something with Moana with rapping that part where he's saying fuck and all that.
What does he call him in Big Uso, right?
Big Goose.
Big Goose. Yeah, because it's his Hawaiian big man rap or hip hop name, I guess now. So it's pretty bad.
That was
I can't wait. I can't wait to get The Rock on the show. It's gonna happen one day. We're gonna manifest it till it happens.
Yes, him and Stone Cold. Like those are your two top
have to.
drinking wrestling guests.
We should have them both on at the same time and have tequila and Broken Skull beer.
Wow.
Get real messed up.
You die the next day. That would be like your best day of your life.
I'd die happy. I would die happy.
Yeah.
Man, I think those two after Undertaker is a top three too. Man, do some whiskey with him.
Taker would be a lot of fun, man. I would love to talk with Taker. Especially after getting some of the stories from like Jake the Snake about him. Godfather's obviously good friends with them. We talked a little bit about that with them. Like, I've already had a couple of your friends, Taker. Let's do this. Let's go.
So speaking of friends who after just keep it going. This is
good segue. There you go. Good segue, Sam.
Can we just call this the
just
segue
like Jim
episode?
Florentine. We're still talking about Jim Florentine. EC3, dude. I mean, I don't know if he knows, but we caught a little bit at the end of him saying that was really fucking cool, and it was really fucking cool. Him and JC coming on. I personally, you guys were the wrestling fans. I didn't really know who he was, but man, made a fan out of me the way he was talking. It was pretty good.
I mean, he knows the business. He's been around it. That's why he's
on it.
Controlling.
Like, no one talks like that.
No, he controls. That's where the controlling the narrative comes from. Like that's what he's like. I could go to any number one of these other factions after I was released from WWE. He said, "Fuck it, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to do it different." and he's doing great. I mean, he's got Braun Strowman, Adam Scherr coming in on that. You know, and he kind of broke the news in some ways on our episode. You know, that was another cool thing that like he alluded to, and then JC sent us stuff before they actually announced that Adam was going over there to film some stuff. That's the cool thing about what Control the Narrative is, though, too, right? It's not a contractual kind of vibe or anything like that. It's like these wrestlers come in, like Matt Cardona, come in and they do something like just a one-off with EC, and then it's like, and then they move on and do another Control Your Narrative pay-per-view.
And it's cinematic. That's what I love about it too. They do a cinematic style. It's not just like an action wrestling sports, match. It's different. It's cool. They just came on. I don't know if you watched it, John. Ring of Honor did their last pay-per-view. They're going on hiatus. I don't know what's happening there, but
oh no, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, so EC3 was in a match, and then he brought out like the Free the Narrative crew, and they did like a whole angle there, and Adam came out as Titan, and it was a cool little thing. And now they're teasing another Free the Narrative with Kevin Cross or Killer Cross from Impact Wrestling, which I think would be really fucking cool.
Love it. We'll have to have him back on talking about it. Oh, also, speaking of EC3, he's also a network friend now. He's on the same network.
He's on the network. That's right.
Oh, yeah. Well, David Lay, who
set up the thing. Yeah, David Lay, our friend over at STM, set that up, and then obviously now he's got his podcast on the same network. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. We need to have like a. We need to like a. Go ahead. What?
No, go ahead.
No, we should have a network.
I just made. Why did I make that face? Go ahead.
Oh, you make a lot of weird faces, and I screenshot a lot of them, and I saved them on my computer.
Literally, you were making one earlier. I'm like, that's the same one from that meme that we have.
But no, they're on the same network as us, so that makes us media mates, right, John?
Oh,
good transition. Now that's a transition.
What do you call that now? Like media mates or some shit like that? We're network mates. Like we're both on the same network.
Oh no, media mates. Showing his age.
I am definitely showing my age. I don't know.
Boomers are crazy.
Did you just fucking boomer me?
Flame on fire. Fame on fire.
Fame on fire boomered me.
Did they ever make you feel older? Like, was there ever a guest that made you feel older than they did?
No, absolutely. I thought Nice made me feel old last season, but Fame on Fire definitely made me feel real fucking old. Because I stumbled, I do what I normally do. I kind of stumbled on my thought a little bit. Like, of course, I know you don't say fucking media mates. Like, that's not a thing.
I think they said, "Oh, that's cute." Afterwards,
yeah, they made fun of me pretty good. To be honest, like I didn't know a lot about them before they came on the show, and I listened to a little bit of their new album, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I knew you guys as a cover band. I didn't know you've actually had your own shit, and it was pretty good. And I was like, this is fucking cool. And they hop in, and I was like, all right, I have no idea how this conversation is going to go. I've never met these guys. Don't know much about them other than they're on Hopeless Records that Avenge used to be on. And we'll see where this conversation goes. And they started drinking like white trashy drinks like right there. And I was like, oh, we're going to have a great time. Like, what was it? It was vodka and something.
I don't remember. Gasoline. It wasn't good. Yeah, it wasn't good.
It wasn't good. It wasn't like a high quality cocktail or anything like that. Like, I'm pretty sure you held up with like a plastic jug of vodka. Like, I was like, these guys know how to party. So it was a lot of fun, honestly, having a chat with them, because they did bust my balls, which I loved, because not a lot of the guests feel comfortable sometimes. I feel like I always start off before I hit the record button. Like, you could throw anything back to me, like anything you want. Like, it's more of a conversation, not an interview. If we can make it that way, I prefer it that way. It's rare that I'll actually get someone to throw some stuff back at me, because it's kind of like until they start getting a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like just throw it back. And that goes back to all the fucking comments of people saying, "Don't stop interrupting, stop interrupting." I'm like, I'm trying to have a fucking conversation with this person.
Totally, man. Totally. They don't get it, but you had some good conversations, man. Like the guests that you know or that you have a rapport with, I feel like are some of the best episodes, because it just comes off so natural. Like when you had the twins on, like fucking dude. That was the season. That was the season. That was stellar, dude. That was so good. So good.
I loved having them. Of course, my family, best friends in the world. Like,
oh my gosh. And whoever doesn't pay for the bonus, you need to pay for the bonus to see the gift exchange in true family fashion, like taboo family fashion. The gift.
Taboo Family, isn't that a website, Sam, that you're subscribed to?
Not that I look at porn sites, but side note here. why does everything have to be brother and sister? Like everything has to.
What do you
Like
mean?
Not everything. That's I think that's just your searches.
Yeah, what are you
no,
talking
it's
about?
not. I fucking hate you guys.
It's
I don't see
2021.
that much
Like,
brother
I
and
don't
sister
search
stuff.
anything.
I don't see that much brother and sister stuff. I don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
ads these days are very tailored to this specific user. So
yeah, there's an
I
algorithm.
use
to all this.
Web3 stuff. I mean, when I hear it's that's how you use it. So no, I don't
That
know.
is what you're supposed. I mean, right now it is the safest way to
Yeah.
go. Anyways, back to that
Thanks a
episode.
lot,
It was
asshole.
amazing though to like have it and have them. You know, I was really happy to have two of my friends on, obviously, and talk about some behind the scenes stuff for a lot of the Avenged fans, as well as showcase just how badass these girls are, like what they've done, where they've come from, and having that company St. Owen, which is still, I mean, even from now since that episode to now, St. Owen's stock is just keep going up. I mean, like they're creating new stuff all the time and really working on it tirelessly, and it's really amazing to see them venture out and do their own thing, and it's really fucking cool. And I was really happy to have them on and share some drinks and play a little who's the better twin game. That was a lot of fun. I don't know, it was just, and then the real cool part about that is right after that we had the families over. Our kids are downstairs playing while we're doing the episode, and then we finish it off and go downstairs and have dinner and just party like we usually do at each other's houses, which was, of course, made it a very special episode for me.
That was really cool. And they're just the nicest ladies, like to everybody. You know what I mean? They're like, they don't play any games. Just anyone who goes up. I mean,
Until
Like they
you
talk-
cross them. Until you cross them.
yeah, exactly.
Like
We
at
learned
the parties.
that. We learned that. Yeah. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
But speaking of good relationships too, and conversations of some guests that I didn't expect to go as well as they did. One was Brantley Gilbert, which was an odd one, but I think you guys had a great rapport. But the one that really hit me off, what the fuck does that mean?
Not a term. It is now.
Was the Spencer, man. That one was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think we've all become the biggest fans of Ice Nine Kills off that new album. Like, I had heard about them. I thought they were kind of gimmicky. To be fair, I didn't give them a chance to look into it, but that album, it was amazing. And then Johnny and I, we were watching all the videos that he made. And if you guys haven't checked it out, check those out for this new album. They're amazing.
Dude,
I don't know.
Dude, I love American Psycho, so that song on the album and the video that accompanies it is so fucking awesome. And then having that little bit in there where they kind of mimic the Huey Lewis in the news. Oh, dude,
With Jacoby Shaddix from Papa
Yeah.
Roach,
Yeah.
another friend.
So
Yeah, it's
so fucking good.
Season 4 guest.
Season 4
Yeah.
guest.
There will be a season 4 guest. But yeah, it was, I mean, not knowing Spencer, but being such a big fan of that album. Like, I remember I was listening to Octane driving around one day. Ice Nine Kills song comes on from their previous album. I think it was Thank God It's Friday, or something about Friday the 13th. It's a song about Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th, obviously. And I was like, and this was when we were still trying to figure out what a Halloween episode was going to look like this year or this season. I was like, well, they have like the whole horror themed out thing. Even if I don't really like the music, I could get behind this, and like, I'm sure we could have a conversation that's revolving more about Halloween and horror. And Sam reaches out and gets a pretty quick response that Spencer's down to do the show. So I was like, cool.
Shout out to Charlie for helping us out.
Charlie Besser, good friend of the show. Just picked up a rad Death Bat Club NFT, by the way, too. She got a pretty rad one. Anyways, I digress. So I was like, cool, we're going to do this. And then I go listen to the new record. And it is by far, no shit, my favorite hard rock record of the last 10 years. Everything about it, like the imagery it paints, even when you're listening, you were talking about the videos are amazing too, but even when you're just listening, the imagery that they're able to, I love theatrical music. I love Sparks. I love Queen. I love I love Oingo Boingo for those reasons. When you can paint a picture with the music, and I think that's something that they do very well on this new record. And they even poke fun of it ourselves. Like, you go back to the American Psycho song where it's like, they were a little too seen for me before,
Yeah,
but I think the new record is a cut above the rest. And it's like, come on, man, that's brilliant.
It's so good.
You call yourself out on that. And then, we talked to Spencer quite a bit now. I can't wait till our paths cross again, because my first love for the band was the music, and then getting to know Spencer a little bit and having that conversation where, we share a lot of common interests, to be honest, like in horror movies, in movies in general. You can tell that guy just really loves movies as much as I do. You guys know me better than a lot of the people listening right now. I'm a big movie buff, like maybe not the craziest, but I watch the same movie over and over and over and over again, same way he does. It's like we have a lot of commonalities and stuff. And I think he's very talented. He's got the imagery. I think that band, they should be bigger than what they are, to be honest, at this point.
I agree. I think this is a starting point for them too.
Yeah.
My son loves Assault and Batteries, the one with the Chucky song, and in the middle sounds like Toys R Us kids, like in the middle of it. There's
I texted him about that.
Well, you had brought that up to me. I was like, I literally was thinking that yesterday. Yeah.
Because it sounds like the old commercial from Toys R Us. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid, and there's a million other things that I can play with. And he uses that.
You'll never grow up. You'll be forever 6 or something like that. Yeah. Great.
And I texted him, and I was like, did you? Yeah, totally. Toys R Us doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, they're
smart. He's like, no, I thought it was a really good melody. It fits everything because it's about a toy. There was a whole reason. He's like, it's a parody, and he's like, also a lot of people. It'll probably go over a lot of people's heads, and if they do catch it, it's just a fun little Easter egg in the song.
Brilliant.
And I thought it was a great Easter egg. I was like, that's brilliant, dude. That's exactly what you should have done with it.
Yeah.
Another one though, with that I became a bigger fan of after being on the show was one the Trivium, Matt Heafy, having him on the show. And there was like 3 in a row right there that we're talking about here. We had Andy, Spencer, and Matt Heafy, and having them nutted next to each other, like right in a row. I think that was a big month for us.
Yeah, those are bangers, dude.
Yeah, it just it showed where our fan base is currently right now. Like we have, amongst us, we have the grander idea of this show being way more eclectic than just music, obviously, right? But we're still at that stage where when it's me as a musician talking to another musician, they tend to do a little bit better on the algorithms or however the fuck people are finding it. And those ones were really fun. And talking to Matt after knowing him for so many years, then bringing up that Big Four, like it stirred up a lot of conversations of like the new age Big Four, what that would be. And I think that was a really fun chat. I don't know.
You still get comments on that. People still are dropping their Big Four, like saying who they think it is.
I mean, I hope that we can look back at that one day and go like, hey, we actually made that happen from that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Maybe not.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be really
the
fun.
fans would love it.
Yeah, especially if the tour was sponsored by Drinks with Johnny. Going back to
if we're making that kind of money to sponsor.
We're now spending more money, Brandon. Jesus.
No, but going back to the eclectic guest, even if you just stick into the music category, Louis Prima Jr. was one that I did not expect to have at all.
That was a great one.
That was one that my father, I grew up on Dean Martin and Louis Prima Jr. And when I talked to John, we're prepping for episodes, and he's got his record collection. He played that in the background. I was just like, "What the fuck are you playing?" He's like, "Louis Prima." I was like, "I knew we were best friends, man, because this is totally my jam too." And like, it's such an odd pull, but like you said on the episode, so many people know that music, they just don't know who it is because it's been detached, this many years later. I love the cocaine story though. And Brandon's artwork is phenomenal on that.
I felt like a piece of shit, but like it was awesome. I sat here with credit cards and razor blades making that out of salt.
Was it right there? Is that the
spot? It was right here. It was right here.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was out of Salt in Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
Nah, you don't want to do the coke here. It's cut and fucking stomped on.
I didn't say you wanted to do it. I said that you probably got it cheaper than you got the salt.
It's cheaper than the salt.
Fuck, man.
No, but that was really cool. I'm glad you brought that one up because Louis Prima Jr. was, I mean, he's a rad dude. Again, just a great guest. We're just chatting and stuff, and the stories he was telling about his mom too, not just his dad, like the whole musical family he came from, and the fact that he's kind of come back to music that he was away from for so long as a restaurant manager, and was successful at it. And was just like, no, I still got this bug. I want to get back to it. And I follow him, and looks like he's still doing some really fun swing shows and stuff. And I was like, you know, I think I should just get dressed up to the nines one night and go check out one of these things and like just
It'd be so much
go
fun.
get a dirty martini and a long cigarette and just
That would be badass.
It would be so much fun. Yeah.
I just pretend like it's the fucking the 40s, 50s, 60s era of swing again. Just
Well,
like,
bro, you got the mustache. Fucking do it.
right? I just need the hat. I need
That's
a good
it.
hat.
That's all you're missing, dude. Hit up Sin Gates in like 2005. You'll get one.
Dude, you got to know his hat collection is fucking insane, dude. Over the years, he gets made fun of so much for that amongst us boys because he's got a serious hat collection. He's got a hat suitcase that he travels with sometimes.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Is that the word impressive?
That I said that. Yeah. That's not how
But
I
appreciate
pronounce
it. I appreciate people like that who later in life like stick with their dreams and shit happens. Similar to Chris Kale, who talked about coming 5 Finger Death Punch later in his life.
What was that? What was the name of that band?
This is Wackerman. Wackerman. Kicking in.
But no, he's another guest that like almost he quit music. Was like that close to quitting music, and then like boom,
right.
then the break happens. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so
absolutely.
cool.
And
There's
knowing Chris
other,
over the years.
And then I'm piling through here.
You're just trying to get through the guests. I know what you're doing here.
We don't have to
Yeah.
talk about every single.
No, I gotta call it what it is. Because usually previously we didn't hit anybody, but I'm like, dude, I think we're gonna fucking hit everybody.
We're gonna hit everyone. Here, who we missing? Heidi Shepard, Medusa.
Well, Heidi is from Vegas. That was my transition. You
there we
asshole.
go. Yeah, he finally had a good segue, and you had to steal it from him. That's awesome. Heidi's rad. I love Heidi, by the way.
That was
She
cool.
was a lot of fun to talk
episode.
to. Yeah, because I mean, again, I know their music. You know, I think we played a couple of shows with them, but I've never really had a conversation with her. And having her on and telling her story and the fact that she was in the Sandlot, like this is like the music is great. And we talked a lot about the music and the music industry and the wine that the Butcher Babies make. But some of my favorite stuff was her coming from that family that was a movie production family.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? I had no idea about this part of your life.
What a perfect family to have, and then like go into music and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna make the dopest music videos ever because we could just do it at my parents' house. Like what?
Yeah,
that's so cool.
That's so rad. And I mean, and they do great imagery. I mean, this the chronicled stories of how someone ruptured an implant and stuff is just like it's funny to me. Like, but she doesn't. She talks about it in such a fun way too. It's like it's not a big deal, and I'm like, it's not. Like I love that. Like. She was a lot of fun, and again, it was that one I remember because I'd had dinner at the country club with my family. I had a martini to warm up for that episode. Came home because again, she was a guest that's like, I want to drink, but I can't drink at like 11 o'clock in the morning like you alcoholic. And I was like, okay, let's do it at 8 o'clock then. So
fuck, man.
You guys, we only have 4 more left. We actually piled through 40 guests at some point. We got old friend of yours. Speaking of old friends, we got Matt from Rev Theory.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot that. That's actually
that was early. That was second episode.
Third episode.
Which Heidi was on a Rev Theory collaboration.
Yeah,
that's right.
Was it something rodeo?
Urinal rodeos.
Urinal rodeo. Oh, that's
I love how you
that's a tongue
asked her. She
twister.
goes, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it was urinal rodeo or some shit like that. I've heard it. It's a good song. I mean, when I was doing the prep for Rev Theory as well, they were, you know, I've known the Rev Theory guys for a long time, and the fact that they have a different iteration, because when we took them out on the road years ago, they had a different singer who was just a frontman, not like Matt, where he's a guitar player or bass player and singer. Is he a guitar player when he was in that band? He plays bass. Did he switch over to guitar too when he did lead vocals? I know he plays both. I can't remember now. It's 3 episodes into the season.
I think he's a bass and singer, if I remember right.
Bass and singer, right? But he was always doing the backups before, and the singer they had before him, for blanking on his name right now, sounded very similar to like a Chris Cornell. Like he had some fucking pipes. So for him to step up and fill that void, and be successful at it, I had a lot of respect for that. And then of course, him drinking whiskey with me was a lot of fun because I like that part of it. But
I just liked it because you knew him. Like you said, it helps because most of these episodes, if anyone listens, are like the first, 15 are kind of just cordial. And then the real meat comes once you guys start getting to know each other, and you get more of a rapport, just like in real life,
Right. But I mean, it's going back to that. Matt reached out to Matt, our singer, and was like, "Hey, I heard that Johnny's got this podcast. I'd like to be on a guest. You think you'd want me on?" And of course, the answer was yes. I was like, "Dude, of course. We could talk about old times, like when we were traveling together." And I remember that was a winter tour because there was like some times they would go to the gym and we would go to the gym. Like when you're waiting around for like the daytime stuff, you become a gym rat. You have the runner take you to the gym. And I just remember like we'd share the runner van with all the bands that any of the bands that had members that wanted to go to the gym. We'd all go together. And I just remember being like him and the singer and Matt would be there and everybody would be like such a random thing. Like we're about to go play an arena that night. But if you went to your local YMCA, you might find the entire fucking stage right there working out side by side. This is funny shit, man. But yeah, that was a good chat. What did we have? What haven't we gotten to yet?
Well, other people who reached out to us that ended up, being good chats, in my opinion. I thought Chris Daughtry as a dad, if the Discord is called me Dad Vibes Sam, basically. I do watch The Masked Singer with my family, and really, Daughtry, full respect to what they do. At the time of my life when he was coming, I was at a different point in my life. But watching my Masked Singer, hearing him sing, I was like, my whole family was like, that guy needs to win. His voice is insane. And having him come on and he seems like such a nice dude. All respect to his family for the stuff they have had gone through this year. But another good chat,
I used to look like him in high school.
Oh, well, right now you're doing the magic of this. Let's put a side by side, please.
Oh, I'll try to find a good picture.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
It's I used to get called him in high school.
Really? Did you have long hair? Did he have long? No. Was he bald? You were bald then.
I was bald.
Oh.
Yeah,
and
no hair.
Shave those beautiful locks? That's like a crime against humanity.
Dude. I never had long hair, and then I just grew it out, and then I finally just chopped it off, and now I
need some of your hair, man.
Nah, dude, it's getting thin up there. I just got to keep it, Beard hair, I can get you, or
Yeah, you're a hairy individual. I've seen you with your shirt off. You're a pretty hairy man.
Speaking of hairy men, let's get to our next guest now.
All right. Speaking of a hairless chest man, we System of a Down.
Chavo.
We have our second. Not only our second No Effects member, but we all had our second System of a Down member this season too.
Yeah, right? Chavo. That was again. Charlie helped out, hooked that one up for me. Charlie and John. So I reached out to John when I saw that Chavo was releasing some more of his solo project stuff, and I was like, "Oh, dude, maybe you want to come on and talk about it." And so I called up John. I was like, "Hey, can you get me in contact with Chavo?" He said, "Yeah, absolutely, man." And then Chavo was like, "Oh, I don't control my schedule right now. Like, no disrespect, I don't control my schedule right now. So much shit going on. Here's Charlie's number. Make sure we get it scheduled." It took like a month to finally get it scheduled right. Nothing on Charlie's side. It was just a lot going on. And it ended up being like a really funny chat because I remember I was in Seattle on vacation and Chavo called me up because I texted him. I was like, I was going to be home and I was like, "Hey, we still good for this such and such date?" So he calls me up and immediately I know, okay, that date's not going to work. So he calls me up and he's like, "Dude, bro, I'm really sorry. I don't do this, man. I want to make sure that I keep the schedule, but I can't, man. So we just planned this vacation for my son. It's his birthday and we're taking him out." And I was like, "Oh, dude, you don't need to like go all into this. Like, I totally get it. It's good. We'll get it when you let me know when you're ready to do it. And we'll do it." And eventually, obviously, we did it. It was a lot of fun. I mean, Chavo's he's a great dude. I love his 22 Red stuff. Like, I wish I was smoking more weed at the time because I would have smoked with him. But like, I haven't been at that time. I hadn't really been smoking in a long time, and it would be a really bad idea for me to get high on an episode because I would just be silent. Well, actually, maybe those people would like it. Those people who said stop interrupting.
I've seen it. No, No, you do not. Yeah, stick to drinking on the show, bud. But circle back to Jose told us the story that I don't think we'll disclose here, but Chavo is a really good dude. Like behind the scenes, that guy is a sweetheart. It sounds like so. We also had 2 comic book people. I'm the comic book fan. I really appreciate you guys embracing that. You guys got wrestling. We all got our little nerdy quirks, but Johnny did a great job of doing it. We got Daniel Warren Johnson, who's AEW. I love listening to all the wrestling chat between the two. And then the behind the scenes, hearing from Kevin Eastman about the Ninja Turtles.
Toys that made us.
The toys that made us.
Yeah,
that was very interesting to me.
Yeah.
I was that was right off the bat because I was like, man, so I know the name. I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan. I'm showing my son. We're going back and rewatching a bunch of these cartoons. This is before Sam says he's going to be on the show. I was like, wait, what? I'm showing Frankie the fucking original Ninja Turtles I grew up watching, like the ones that Kevin Eastman did, And I was like, that's amazing. He's going to be on. And then I watched the toys that made us. So that was obviously the first thing I wanted to talk about. It had just come out like a couple months before. I was like, you were just on Toys That Made Us, and you and blanking on the name, Sam. The other creator. Why am I trying?
Laird.
Laird. That's right, Laird.
Peter Laird.
Yeah, Peter Laird is on the Toys That Made Us, and they make it seem like they had this falling out, on the Toys That Made Us. Or
it was like the first time they've talked in years and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, no, that's all bullshit.
No, he's like, we talk all the time. Like he's one of my best friends.
They're like, I don't know if you know about the Turtle Empire we have that we make shit ton of money on. Yes, we talk a lot.
Yeah.
That was a cool episode. That was like one of my favorite episode skins I made because I like recreated the turtle lair and put you guys like in there. And that was like one of my favorite ones to do. So
dude, I love your skins, dude. When the new ones pop up, I'm just like, oh fuck yeah, it's so fun to see.
You can always tell if I have a lazy week though because I'll recycle. But I always try to make like each one unique.
Now the next guest that sees that, they're gonna be like, oh fucking. I guess I'm chopped liver.
Brandon got drunk on Friday and Saturday.
That's what it comes down to.
Shit, man.
We also we got 3 more. Winding down. This is like the countdown. It's like
I don't know if my math is really well, but you said there was 4 more.
Yeah.
A while ago, and now you're telling me there's 3 more.
Don't do. I won't do the alphabet backwards either.
Wait, can we guess? Can we guess who they are?
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Ooh.
So let me make sure there's only 3.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I know one.
Go ahead and guess.
I know one.
Okay. What is it?
Jesse Leach.
Oh,
that was the next one I was going to talk about.
Kill Switch. Yeah, Kill Switch and Moments of Grace.
Yeah.
That was a really fun one. I'm glad his Stoke the Fire podcast seems to be doing really well. We got to talk about that. And at that time, they were only like 4 or 5 episodes deep, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Matt Stocks. And
if anyone checks it out, by the way, I don't mean to interrupt you. Check out the episode with the singer of Agnostic Front. I always heard about Agnostic Front growing up. East Coast, you've talked to guests about East is more hardcore and California and West Coast is more like poppy punk growing up in our generation. Agnostic Front was a little too hard for me, but they had the singer on, and I think we need to have him on as a future guest. In fact, John, I recommend you check that out. He's this dude from Jersey, hard accent, doesn't bite his tongue. If anyone needs to check out that Stoke Your Fire podcast, check out that episode. It was really good.
Absolutely will. Yeah, Jesse, for me, having Jesse on, I don't think we got too much into it, but I remember Alive or Just Breathing literally came out and was like the anthem of the year before I joined the band Avenged Sevenfold. Like I was Kill Switch Engaged. Alive or Just Breathing was like my favorite record at the time. I was just coming into my senior year in high school when I discovered it. And Alive or Just Breathing, just such a there's so many great songs on that one front to back. Like that's one that's a metal record that I can go back to and know, and I forget how well I know it. You know what I mean? You ever do that with albums where you're like, you go back and you're like, you forgot, but it comes right back. You're like, you can sing every note as it's happening. And then, obviously through the years, getting to know some of the Kill Switch dudes on festival dates and stuff like that. I can't believe we've never actually done a proper tour with them, to be honest. But
you guys seem pretty
a lot of reasons.
Aligned. I think people would eat that up. You guys together.
Maybe one day. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of reasons, politics, money, all that shit gets in the way sometimes and stuff. But obviously, I'm a big fan of Killswitch, and I'm glad to see that Jesse, even from this episode to now, you can see like in his posts and stuff, he's in a really good spot where I feel like for a long time, I mean, that was one of the things like I remember just hearing about in Killswitch, like when he left the band and Howard Johnson came in and stuff. It was like, I was like, why did he leave? Like he was one of the main reasons why I loved Killswitch so much, because it's such a unique voice and being able to go back and forth between this really super clean voice to this rad screaming voice of different and it was a really cool transition. And then I remember I remember hearing that he was like he'd gone Christian or something like that, which I turned out to be a rumor with no gas, and a couple other rumors came out about why he'd left the band. And then, the resurgence of him coming back over the last, I mean, now it's been probably 10 years that he's been back. I don't even remember how long he's been back now. But it's just really cool to get a conversation with someone and kind of learn what was going on. I mean, he was in a toxic relationship for a lot of years. Mm-hmm. And now he's not. He's really happy and doing his thing. Killswitch is back out on the road. See him posting about that, which is really happy for the dudes.
Well, it's one of those things with podcasting and social media, like there's so much negative stuff, but at the same time, there's so much positive too when we were kids, look at Kurt Cobain or whatever, who's going through his own shit. We're just looking at this and then what happened. But you don't really hear the behind the scenes. The fact that people now have a platform to talk out of like depression or, hey, look I was going through a toxic relationship too. Like you're not alone. We're in an environment where we get to meet these people and stuff like that, and the hero worshiping kind of gets down lower. But those in like areas who might not, they idolize these people, but don't realize that they're actually real people. The fact that now we can humanize people a little bit more is kind of nice, to say, hey, you're not alone. People are all going through shit, no matter what the state. So that was refreshing, and it's cool that he's doing that. Instead of kicking people's asses like our next two guests I'm going to bring up.
I know who they are.
I didn't get that one.
The last two we got is Kelly and
Irene.
Oh, yeah.
Two great fighters, two ass-kicking champions, and two fantastic conversations in my book.
Yeah, I agree, man. Kelly Pavlik was a cool one because growing up here in Newcastle, right? Youngstown is a stone's throw away whiskey.
How's that booze going?
Yeah, it's getting me.
I like how the pro Johnny is the only one that's not slurring at this point.
I'm almost done with this bottle of champagne. I'm definitely feeling it. This is not my first time podcasting drunk, so we're good.
True.
I'm going to pull your Valentine's Day, go downstairs and have my wife yell at me that we're going to Light Parade, and I'm going to be buzzed.
It was Mother's Day, but close enough.
Yeah,
there it is. The last episode I did with you, I got trashed, and it was the Irene Aldana episode. So we're right on track.
That was good because you had the balls to ask her how many kids she could beat up.
That's right.
You were joking before we went on that one, and I was like, because we had done it a couple episodes, I think, at that point where you had co-hosted with me, Brandon.
Right.
And it was like, and I was listening to her on another podcast, and I was like, man, that'd be really good rapport if we had a third talking head in here. I think that would really help the conversation. And obviously it did. But before we went live, you were like, dude, I'm going to ask her like how many like kindergartners she could beat up. And I was like, dude, don't do that. But in hindsight, I'm so glad you did because she just took it with stride.
Oh yeah, totally, dude. She just went with it. She's like, kindergartners? We're like, yeah, little kids. How many?
What did she say? Did she even answer? I can't remember.
She didn't give an exact number, but she
was counting her cats.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was.
Yeah.
I love Irene though. She was such a rad, gracious guest. So I've been trying to send her a box of Drinks with Johnny and Avenged Sevenfold merch since she's been on the show. And through customs and everything getting to Mexico, it's just not working. We get it sent back every time. And I'm like, I don't know what to do now. And she's like, well, maybe you could just get it to my manager and he could get it to me. So I'm going to go into this, how long ago was that episode?
Yeah, that was
I'm working on getting it to then.
We should update that box by now. Like,
yeah, put new stuff in there. Give her a golden ticket.
Give her a golden ticket.
All of that.
Dude, that's what you should just start sending those out to people, getting people's addresses. Send the golden tickets. We have like 20 extra.
How mad would our fans be though if I just given it to the guests of the show?
Is this cutting? Are we cutting this part?
No, fuck
No,
no.
we're
This is
keeping this.
definitely going on.
I mean, to be fair, Bart or the Berries are the ones throwing it out. We have no idea who.
We have no
No,
control.
we don't know.
No
It's
control.
very much at random. It's very much at random. But no, having Irene was really cool. I mean, I was at my brother's house watching the UFC that she was on, and everyone and we couldn't hear it because I was in my brother's garage he has like a big projector in his garage, and we were watching the damn thing. But we had the volume turned down because we're all talking and drinking and just hanging out, me and a couple of my brothers. And then I get these texts from a couple of other friends like, "Did you just hear what Irene Aldana just came out to? Like, it's your version, the Avenged Sevenfold version of Malagueña Cela Rosa." And I was like, "Awesome. We got to have her on the show." And then 2 seconds goes by and she just demolishes the other chick. And I was like, definitely got to have her on the show. No disrespect to the other fighter, because by looking at him, full disclosure, when they were both coming out to the ring, I thought Irene was going to get her ass kicked. The other chick looked mean. I don't remember her name now, but she looked mean. And then she handled her. She handled her pretty quickly too. And I was like, all right, this chick's awesome. And I really hope she gets the title bout here soon. I haven't been able to see. I haven't seen that she's had one yet, but I know she was climbing up the rankings. She was like the number 2 on the list at that point, so she's got to be up to number 1 now. She's got to get that title shot.
So does she have to come out to your song from now on because we've put the pressure on her, or what?
Probably.
I hope so. No, she was fun. She was funny too, man. Just talking about her cats, and she's like, cats and bats. And
Cats
she had
and
like a story of
bats,
bats.
that's right.
It was a fun
so
conversation. But Kelly, I've known for a long time. Like Kelly actually came out when we were in Ohio sometime, when we were on the Buck Cherry and Avenged co-headlining tour. They had Crazy Bitch was a huge.
I love that song back in the day.
And Bat Country was still doing its thing. This was years ago. And that was such a fun tour. But Josh Todd from Buck Cherry was boxing and was into Kelly Pavlik, and Kelly came out to the show and started training with a couple of the dudes, and I still talk. I was watching one of the last pay-per-views, the Canelo pay-per-view, his last bout, and I was texting with Kelly Pavlik and another friend of the show, Virgil Ortiz, and we had a little bet. We had a 3-way bet going. So then I called them and we were watching it. We were all on a mixed phone call, watching it together, because each of us had Canelo winning the fight, obviously. But we were picking different rounds, and Virgil ended up winning, so I owe him a base. I said, but
Nice.
it was just.
What
fun
would he
'cause
give you? What was the return?
Yeah.
Because
I forget. No, that we all put up some fun stuff. I don't remember what it was now because I was drinking, but it was. I think
you
it was
also
gonna be
said
like
that
his
you're going to
gloves.
spend $5,000 on a house.
This is the
Yeah,
idea I
text
want to
sharing.
get to.
That's a
I
good
still
wrap
would
up.
do that.
Sorry, finish your Kelly.
Yeah, this is the
We'll
good wrap up.
Okay. Well, anyways, Kelly Pavlik, very good friend of the show. Talk to him all the time. He's such a great boxer, such a phenomenal boxer. And like, I loved when he was talking about him being on Joe Rogan's podcast a few years ago. And he was like, I just said that shit. I was never coming out of retirement. Like he like,
Yeah.
he alluded to the fact he's like, I was just fucking around, dude. I just wanted to see what would happen if I told people I might come out of retirement. I had no desire to come out of retirement even then, now, ever, because I'm fucking retired for life. But he made the buzz on Joe Rogan's podcast for it. I was like, that's fucking funny, dude.
That's great. That was a good one. And as a guy who doesn't know enough about boxing, like, he kept it simple, and it's entertaining for anybody to listen to that who hasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool one, man. Like, the local rock station here is in Youngstown, right? So growing up in high school, literally every radio ad you hear was for the Ghost Kelly fucking Pavlik, right? And like his fights and how he's the champion. So it was cool to like see that come like full circle now, and you have him on the show. Like that was really cool.
What did he call his back stamp?
The champ stamp.
The champ stamp.
Yeah.
The champ stamp, because he's got the Avenged Sevenfold piece on his back. That's fucking rad. That's great. All right, so let's talk about that idea, and we'll put a bow on this recap of season 3. I'm still into this idea. I don't know why you're poo-pooing it, Sam.
I think it's a good idea. And here's how we preface it. It'll be like the Sticks on the Golf Course episode, where it's like you out of the element doing another thing. Sam, just go ahead.
Well, this all started yesterday. We were texting as we normally do, and I got low battery. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. There you go.
All right, sorry. And I was like, hey, because I don't know if some of the diehards have heard the balcony talk. So Johnny's got this balcony right off of his man cave where the bar is. And over there he smokes, and we all just hang out and drink. And that's usually where the night the deep talks happen. Mm-hmm. And we were just talking about my past is in construction and stuff like that. And then he said he'd always wanted to flip houses. I was like, we have money in our retirement plan. We'll start flipping houses. And I just started the text chain with Brandon on it too, and just saying, when are we going to do our flipping show where we just have John drunk thinking, he can do it and flip in the house, like flipping under the influence or some shit like that. And then it just kept snowballing the rest of the day.
It did.
Or it was a call. We were talking.
It was a call. Yeah, we were on a call.
Yeah, we were calling. Yeah.
This was yesterday, Sam. What the fuck?
Yeah. Dude, I literally never drink. I never drink anymore. And you guys got me doing it. So,
but he's hammered. This is awesome.
I love the idea. I think it's a great concept. And like, let's do an episode where you demo
Both
a house.
Both of you are hammered. This is awesome. I'm the most sober one, I could tell.
This is a rarity.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Now I'll follow up. Don't worry, guys. I got this. So the idea
take the host
came up that we would do this flipping of houses, and then Brandon said out there, not too far from where he lives, in April, due to some
they have a tax
weird
sale.
clauses, a tax sale, you could buy a house for like $5,000. And it got me, and I was like, dude, then we could do our flipping house idea. Like, we could at least do the demo and like do episodes out of it. Have like friends like Daughtry come in and just like film like some ridiculous stuff, just breaking down
demoing in a crazy way. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, and I was like, I'm totally on board for that, and I still am. If you follow through with that, I'm totally on board with that. I think it would be worth something there. And then the idea, I don't know if you were still on the call anymore, Sam, but then the idea came to me that was like, well, what if we actually made this a charitable thing? Like, what if we use it, we put forth the money, we demolish the house, we do whatever, and then we actually build like a nice house and give it to a family in need. Like, what if we were able to do that? Like,
is this the story of our entire podcast? Where I fucking said we could give it to a family. And then later you think about it and you're like, you know what we should do? We should give this to a family in need.
Did you say that before?
Yes. I said, or we could like do it and then we could donate it as like mine was more like we could write it off as a tax thing to give it to someone in need. But yeah.
No, my idea is way better. And way
yours
better.
Is actually from the heart. Sorry.
Yeah. No, yeah. Mine is, well, then it got me thinking about it. In total seriousness, I kept talking to Brandon about it. I was like, I really like this idea with the $5,000 house. It's probably in a bad location, whatever. But like, and instead of doing like the flip your houses they used to do, and there's all the horror stories of the houses costing them so much money they couldn't do it, or falling apart because they slapped it together in fucking 30 days. Like, let's build something real. Why wouldn't we build something real in a good spot, do something real? I was like, well, if we get to a point where all of us are just, doing really well and there's something we can do, front the money for, or even start a Kickstarter. Now that I'm thinking about it right now, do something along those lines where we could actually do that. I think, obviously it wouldn't be, the funny part would be us filming the demolition. Then we'd bring in a real crew to actually build the fucking house, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And we do it right. Like, none of this thrown together, slap shit together for TV look. Like, right. We do it real. And especially after what's gone on in the last couple of years, that the economy is not bouncing back. I don't know about you guys, but like, it's not just going to all of a sudden bounce back and these people are going to be fine again. There's going to be a lot of, as there is every 10 years, back to the Trevor Moore episode he mentioned, feels like every 10 years something catastrophic happens. Well, something catastrophic has happened, and there's going to be a lot of people who might need something, and we can have fun doing something at the same time, really give back to the community. And maybe it's not this iteration of the idea, but I really hope that we can get to a point where we can do this for real, and not for a tax write-off purposes or anything like that. Just because it it would, first of all, it would be fun to demo a house with you guys. First of all, just like drunken demo a house, like, dude, operate a Bobcat and like take some shit down. Like fucking, that would be a lot of fun. And I know we have a lot of our friends of the show that would show up to help us out do this. You know, I think it could be something that we, in the future, that we can really, really put some ideas together for. And we make it part of the podcast, make it part of the show, or make it its own thing. I don't really know yet, but we definitely film it and have fun doing it, you know, and then just gift it, you know.
I think it's a great idea. That's my background before, when I was working on my hands, flipping houses and working for other people, making money flipping houses. And that's kind of why we talked about it. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I mean, I said the other thing, but that was kind of where this started, right? Let's have a lot of fun. And rather than just leave it a shit show behind, if we could actually fix it up to actually give it to someone to enjoy, that'd be really cool. And at that price point, I mean, if you can make someone else's life a little bit better, why wouldn't you? You know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Or even
if
you
there's
some good ideas there, man. There's some really good ideas here. I think the part that we definitely all agree on, though, is Johnny getting drunk and demoing this house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a lock. That has to happen, right?
DUI, demo under the influence. That's what's. There we go.
And on that note, we wrap up this episode of Drinks with Johnny, season 3 recap. That last little part. I just want to let you guys know that's legit. This is the way that we talk. This is the way that we get on the phone calls to each other and come up with these ideas. I can promise you that we come from the heart. I cannot promise that we will follow through. We will try. We always have great ideas, and we try to follow through with as many of them as we can.
The good ones.
Let's be honest.
We try to follow through with the good ones. Because they got a lot on this board. There's actually a category that says, I don't even fucking know. And we don't follow through with those ones.
But that's just a little insight to the way that this team works. And I'm so happy that you guys are part of this with me. I love you guys so much. You guys are my brothers. You guys make this shit happen for me. And I really appreciate you. And I really hope that we can make an idea like that and some of the other ones that we've had really come to fruition. I know we can, and I know we will. It's just a matter of time. Mm-hmm. So it's just, we'll just keep trekking along and having fun with what we do and hanging out just like this, and on to the new year. Right, guys?
Hey, I'm ready for some more fun. Thank you for everything. You and all the listeners.
Yes, thank you, everyone, dude. Everyone on our Discord, everyone on YouTube, everyone following us on every platform. Thank you guys so much for the support and the continued support, because it means so much.
Cheers. Absolutely. Yeah. Cheers to the end of the year. Cheers to the new year and the new season 4 of Drinks with Johnny. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.